going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the Wednesday show. Let me go ahead and introduce the crew that we have today. We got Miss Bo, DJ, that's Simone, gracefully unfiltered, and myself, Lapeef JR. Welcome to the Wednesday show. What's going on, family? How y'all doing?
What's going on? Good.
Hello.
What's good?
Blessed and highly favored, as always.
As always, good to see you, Dot Simone. First time, gracefully unfiltered. Glad to have you here, DJ. Welcome
I'm glad
back.
to be here.
All right, no doubt, no doubt. It was your second time coming around. See you changed the background. Leveled up on us, huh?
I had to do something. I was looking at the last one. I was like, oh man, I had that fan in my background coming out of my head and everything. So yeah, we just had to change the room up a little bit.
Okay, so you got the AI background, huh? Is it real?
No, it's real.
Okay, I have to ask nowadays, man. With AI, so just never know, man. First we have filters, now we got AI.
Yeah, no, that won't work for me. My hairline is barely hanging on. AI take the rest of it away.
Oh, okay, so you took offense to that Drewski skit.
I didn't see it. I heard about it, but I mean the struggle that I'm currently going through, I'm good with it. It builds character. It's all right.
Okay. All right. Just trying to make sure. I got some hurt feeling reports in the back. HR is on deck, so
I did see some people who were upset about it, but I didn't get a chance to check it out.
I bet you didn't. That's what they all say, man. All right, man. See what we got in the chat. Edward Gilbert, what's going on? Got flavor. Julie's in the house as well. Christopher Matthews, Mills. What's going on, brother? How you doing? As you guys come in, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'm not feeling my light. My whole setup just all rearranged, man. I feel like I'm sitting in some orange. So, anyhow, let's go ahead and get the show started, man. We're going to be kick it off with John Cena. Ex refused a prenup, and now she's paying $2K. Are you guys familiar with John Cena? Any wrestler fans in the house? Yeah, y'all are? What y'all doing? Sign language today?
I ain't watched wrestling in a long time, man. I don't even know who's who.
Yeah,
I know who John Cena is.
Okay.
I'm not a wrestling fan though.
Oh, you must like him or something. You must got some type of okay.
I'm familiar with him. That is a YT man, and I don't have nothing for them.
I don't know what's up with you and Marcus and Aisha, y'all, man. Y'all gotta be some FBAs. Willie, I ain't seen you. You got headphones on today?
For today, yeah.
Okay. Is it for the broadcast or you listen to something else?
No, it's for the broadcast.
Okay. I don't think I ever seen you with no headphones.
You won't see me with it again?
Okay. Kind of sound like you air traffic control or something over there.
Boy, you funny.
Anyhow, again, hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. We're going to go ahead and get it cracking. Let me go to give y'all an intro for the folks that don't know who John Cena is. So John Cena warned her. He warned all of us. If you don't know who John Cena is, he's a 16-time WWE World Champion, now a Hollywood actor. Years ago, he was engaged to Nikki Bella. That's the girl you seen on the thumbnail. One of the top women in WWE and a reality TV star from Total Divas and Total Bellas. Before he even let Nikki move into his house, Cena asked her to sign a 75-page relationship contract. People said he was cold, controlling, unromantic. Social media dragged him for it. Fast forward, Nikki doesn't end up marrying John. Instead, she marries Art, a professional dancer from Dancing with the Stars, with no prenups. They divorced in 2024, and now Nikki is the one paying $200,000 plus child support. $200,000 plus child support. Sounds like a lot of money, right? Yeah. What's to some folks? If you're rich, you probably got a different take. This this piece of change like $100. Anyhow, so that's just a brief overview of who John and Nikki is, and we also got Artem in the discussion as well. I'm going to be bringing up a clip Shout out to the Manosphere Highlights Daily. I will be putting that link in the description. Make sure you guys go ahead and check out the content. And also, you can watch this full video that we're about to react to in its full way. So I'll post that shortly in there. Let me go ahead and bring it up, man. And it's going to give us an overview and kind of walk us through this journey. Y'all ready for it?
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get it cracking, man. Let's make sure everybody mute up. And let's go. I'm going to stop it like maybe every 3 minutes or so, just so we can react and see if we can get some of this discussion and dialogue going. Here we go.
Navigate breaking up in front of the world, Nikki?
Well, having 2 public breakups is what everyone saw. Yes, I had to give him $200,000.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily, where we call out effeminist foolishness, expose women's hypocrisy, dismantle double standards, and stand up for men. Almost 4 years ago, we made a video about John Cena insisting that Nikki Bella signed an airtight relationship contract. They weren't even married. Nikki was just moving into his house, and John already knew what time it was. 75 pages. We still don't know everything that was inside it, because remember, you can't see John Cena.
Where's he at? John Cena. John Cena, where's he at? I have no idea. I haven't seen him. Bro, what is you?
But trust me, you could see the point he was making.
You're right. I should have told you before you packed the first box. I guess the reason I didn't ask you when I asked is because I didn't want to take something so wonderful and immediately get up with something so business. This is what my life is. This is what it's become. You met my family. You think my mom paid for that house herself?
Yeah.
She didn't. My brother lives in that house. They're expecting a child. My younger brother who's got medical problems, I make sure he's okay. I always tell them I'm a poor brother, but I try the best to be the best provider that I can. I just don't want to ever be in a position where that's in jeopardy.
John Cena then hit Nikki and men in general with a full red pill sledgehammer.
I don't think date nights can ever get old, but I think so many years down the road to keep things exciting, I think kids help that in a relationship. I see the point of kids after you've been with someone for so long.
So basically what you just said across the table is, you will get bored of me.
I'm not going to get bored of you.
I'm going to go ahead and stop it there real quickly. Do you guys think that John was smart or controlling for asking her to sign that contract?
Smart.
Why is that?
Because the whole purpose is also to protect your assets, what you worked for prior to becoming a union with someone. They live in California. That's a community, I forgot what is it, a community-based state where anything that you accumulate, even investments, you got to split it in half. And so at which point, if you're making more money than your spouse, then you're going to have to pay the difference to make you even. That's the whole point.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anybody else?
I think it's smart. I think if you have any amount of money, any amount of real money, that you should protect it, because now even relationships, people be going to court, not even marriage. They be going to court in just full-on relationships. And so I think that this shows us that we have to protect ourselves. If you have money, any amount of assets that you don't want to lose, property, especially if they've lived with you, your retirement, your whatever. Yeah, I had a friend that went to court with his ex. Listen, it's happening. So it ain't just married people.
I think women always like want this, not all women, but some women want this fantasy like oh, it got to be about love, and if you breaking up this contract, then you must not love me, or you know, thinking the worst, and they tend to put themselves in that situation, and it's not until they in that situation when they're like, okay, maybe he was on to something.
I think it's smart. I think it's smart. Any man who has accumulated like what he's accumulated and accomplished what he's accomplished on his own, I think it's extremely foolish to give anybody access to that as if they were a part of it. I get, like, if it was a small petty amount of money, it can feel disrespectful for somebody to ask you to sign something for something small and petty. But him and what he got, like, no, I think it's a smart move. I'm not even sure what contract he had, but I'm assuming that it's to protect his assets. So if you really there for him, like, then you're not worried about his money. And if you're not, if you're anything outside of a R word, then you'll be able to leverage being in a relationship with him. And if you can't, then you are the R word. So
yeah, I think you came in a little late, but it's not John Cena that's he's paying that is paying 200,000. Or so basically what happened was that he was dating Nikki, and Nikki had got engaged to somebody and got married, and then they went through a divorce. And so his ex, he was trying to warn her before that she needed to get a prenup, but she didn't. And so now, after her divorce, she wound up paying $200,000 plus child support.
So he has the man she dated. He has custody of the kids.
They both have custody.
hold on. So we're not talking
They
about
have
John.
joint custody.
They have joint custody.
Yeah, so I had to do some research because when I first came across this story, I thought it was John, but it isn't John. John just was trying to look out for his ex who got married to someone.
Oh, okay. So he's just trying to give his ex some advice.
Right. So when I was playing that video, that's what I was playing. When there was a little snippet of him warning us, but when he tried to warn them, people was saying that he was controlling.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, what I'll do is I'll put it in the back chat for you so you can read it.
I think a lot of people
That way-
misunderstand what a community property state is and what that means. It only means that the stuff gained while in the marriage is split 50-50. The stuff you had before you went into that marriage is still only yours. One of the problems is that say you have a wife who's stay at home. She doesn't work, and her husband makes $15 million while they're married. When they get divorced, she's going to get $7.5 million of those dollars. She's also going to get half of the property that they own. She's going to get half of everything that they bought since the day they got married. Everything. So any income, even if she only makes $1 million and he makes $15 million, that's $16 million is going to be $8 million split between each one of those guys. So a lot of people think that with community property states, it automatically means you have to give up what you had before the marriage, and that's not true. As far as her paying child support, a non-custodial parent can have joint custody with the custodial parent and still pay child support, because people forget that joint custody also means the 6 weeks in the summer, the 1 weekend in a month, the 2 weekends in a month, or whatever it's agreed to. If you don't have joint physical custody, you're going to still be subject to paying child support. Whoever has the child more is going to pay the child, is going to be the one that's receiving the child support.
I would agree with you in many cases, but in the state of California, that community property kind of extends to the child support arena, where they want the child to have similar living environments in both houses. So even he does make money and he does pay, I think what I read, extracurricular activities and things of that nature. But some of that $3,500 that she pays a month goes towards like the speech therapy for the child and to offset what he can't make because he makes less than her.
So yeah, so there's no disagreement because I didn't speak to that part. I just spoke about joint custody for someone paying child support. But and why is it that the celebrities always have the kids with special needs? Y'all notice that? Like it's always a celebrity that has a kid who needs speech therapy, is autistic, Down syndrome, or slow.
But I think they're having kids later too, past age 35.
Well, she definitely did.
Or substances.
I thought they might be sacrificing their wombs to, you know, for fame. I don't know, but it seems like a lot of these celebrity people have
Shut up, Willie.
that have kids that are slow. Or doesn't Beyonce have like 2 twins that nobody ever sees because they're not normal?
They don't see the boy; they see the little girl now.
Damn. I didn't know that. To answer the prompt, yeah, I think it was smart because he was setting a precedent and letting her know how serious he is about what he owns, and he also had mentioned his family. He was letting her know, you know, I have other people that I have to take care of, so I can't jeopardize that. But it was also foreshadowing to let her know, like, once you get beyond this threshold, you would be, you know, in line for the same or similar types of protection, but you have to, you know, rock with what I lay out.
I think relationships, I'm not going to say they need contracts, but I think relationships in general, I think if we structured them like a business, or at least kind of like we started them the way people start businesses, and you kind of had in mind the procedures that you'll go through when somebody's upset, or the procedures that you'll go through when somebody's feeling like they're being neglected, and like if there's just like a set of steps that you do, I think that it would be beneficial for people to go about their relationships like that. Even just not even just, you know, procedures, but you know, when it comes to ending the relationship, okay, how do we end the relationship when it's time to end the relationship? You know, who gets what, you know, and you know, just kind of setting precedent, or not even that. Like, I want you to understand the reasons that I would leave you and the reasons that I won't leave you, so that you understand, like, these are the things that are deal breakers for me, and these are the things that I'm willing to, you know, meet you halfway on. I think if people just understood those things, and then we'd be a lot better off.
If a woman has more money, should she be quicker to sign a prenup or slower?
It depends. Some women that have a lot of money are greedy and want more. I've seen a handful of situations where the wife was making really good money, but the husband was making so much more that they wanted to have the prenup amended to make sure that, you know, that she got more money now that, you know, that he's worth more, he's doing better. So, and I would say that if I would advise any woman who has money, if your money is what makes you want to be quick to sign a prenup, you shouldn't marry that man. Because if you didn't have the money, the hesitation that you would have, if there is some sort of inherent hesitation with you signing one, but now you only want to sign it because it can protect you, that tells you a lot about your character and how you actually value that man. So, I mean, I tell men, if you bring up a prenup to a woman and she balks, bucks, contests in any way, that relationship is over. Like, there's nothing to continue because you understand now who you're dating. And a lot of people don't understand that when you're going through a divorce, the very first time you meet your spouse is when she's sitting across that table from you with your attorney. That's the very first time you'll meet that lady. You'll understand who she really is in that space on that day. A prenup helps you kind of get ahead of that because you negotiate the terms of the end of the marriage if it were to come. It's almost like, you know, you paying for your insurance on your car, but you know you're going to turn it in at some point, but you pay the insurance up for the entire time, and then something happens and you're trying to get a check out of it. It's unfortunate that so many women because women tend to be the ones who object to prenups, but so many women feel like prenups are going to keep them from being able to weaponize divorce against the man they're marrying. Because at the end of the day, you know, there's 10 female billionaires, 7 of them became billionaires through divorce, 2 became billionaires through inheritance, like their fathers had money, and then 1 is self-made. She's Asian, I think. And women feel like a divorce and taking a man to the cleaners is a backup plan for, it's like a severance plan for the 6, 7, 8, 10 years they spent with that one guy for not being able to go, suck another 2-3 miles of dick because they're in a marriage. So
Oprah not self-made?
Huh?
Oprah not self-made?
Yeah, well, I don't think Oprah worth $1 billion anymore. I think she dropped down.
Okay.
What about Rihanna? I thought she had $2 billion companies.
Rihanna has $2 billion company that she's the majority shareholder in, but I think that her total holdings are like $912 million. A lot of people talk about someone being a billionaire because they own $1 billion company. Once that company is public, you don't own it yourself. So say, for example, you have a company that's worth $1 billion and you only own 51% of that company. So 100% of $1 billion is $510 million. That's what you'd be worth.
They say Oprah at 3.2, but I don't know how accurate it is.
It said Rihanna is a billionaire, though. I just looked it up.
Yeah, it's not a problem looking it up, but understand what they're saying when they say someone is a billionaire. It's not saying they have $1 billion to their name. It's saying they can control $1 billion worth of things. It can be assets, it can be equities, or it could just be cash. But if you look it up further, you'll find out the majority of billionaires don't have $1 billion cash that they can just go grab.
So the 7 that you gave, they actually have liquid.
No,
Like
well, excuse me. Of the seven, I know Mackenzie Bezos, she would obviously because she got like $32 billion when she got divorced. But of those women, you have to realize that they're not going to keep cash liquid because it's a depreciating asset. So if you keep $1 billion in the bank, that $1 billion in 10 years is going to be worth 800 or 750 million. That's a 25% depreciation. So what they tend to do is take that money and they take that payout in the form of things that are appreciating assets like stocks, properties, investments,
So
things
assets.
like that.
So
Yeah,
assets. So assets do count, because you were. It almost makes it seem as if just because they say they have $1 billion, they don't really have $1 billion, but they still control $1 billion, no matter how you flip it, right? When we look at depreciation and appreciation of money, assets, value, things of that nature, if it accumulates to $1 billion, you're a billionaire because it's under your control.
Well,
in some way, shape, form.
Could I say something real quick? So maybe one of the examples that I'm thinking of in my head is like, for example, Kanye West, right? So if you are somebody who own a majority of your company, and that can be, if your company's high with Yeezy is worth $4 billion today. The second that Yeezy is not worth $4 billion, you're worth whatever that company is worth. So that's a little bit different from having like, oh, I own this much real estate or something like that. If you just own like a portion of your company, and it's just based on what they're telling you it's worth, or what somebody thinks that it's worth, and the day that it's not worth that, it can evaporate overnight. But if somebody got assets, like houses or something like that, that's a little bit different.
You saw what happened to Kanye West in real time.
I completely understand.
Like we saw what happened to Kanye West in real time.
No, I understand that, but
what's the stipulations to be to be a billionaire? Like, what's the stipulations? Like, what makes people say this is a billionaire?
This is the same way. So what's the common way to look at it is, do you have $1 billion worth of assets? But what we're saying, my point is that a lot of people who are billionaires don't have like $1 billion to go grab. It would be difficult for most billionaires to go get $1 billion in cash to go do something. So they tend to operate in lines of credit. Anybody past that's worth more than $10 million has a hard time getting liquid cash. It's difficult. You just can't go to a bank and be like, hey, I need $3 million. As you walk into the bank, you got to make appointments. You got to set it up. The bank has to piece that money together. At a 100x scale now, looking at someone trying to go get $1 billion is difficult. And just one of the things that I want people to understand is that, someone owns a $1 billion company, that doesn't inherently say that, okay, they've got $1 billion they can go spend. Because like, if to my example, the company's worth $1 billion, you own 51%. If you sold your shares, you can get $510 million. You wouldn't have $1 billion company anymore, and you'd only have $510. A lot of people don't understand there's a gap. There's the space in which that can happen. upstairs.
Imagine owning an NFT worth $1 billion, and then the
Put it
NFT
down.
market, you realize, oh, this shit fake, and people don't. Like when people was buying the monkeys and stuff years
You being
ago.
funny right now?
Oh no, I don't
You being
even know
funny?
you got some of the monkeys. My bad.
All right, let me play
I
some.
didn't tell you, so you didn't see that video, so we're good. Don't worry about it.
Play more of this video.
Pure gold. Nikki had nothing to say after that. And surprise, surprise, the relationship ended soon after. Fast forward, Nikki marries Artem in 2022 without a prenup, gets divorced in 2024, and she had to pay. And now she's finally talking about it publicly on her podcast. Let's jump in. Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many.
It got everyone's attention to hear.
That's right. So there's a major headline going on or going around about me that I just really want to kill. I don't want to get super deep into it. And that could be a part of the issue during my entire divorce, the incident that happened, because I haven't gotten really into it. It's given people opportunity to
make up lies,
have their own perception on what's happened. And you know what? I'm okay with that because I know the truth, lived it. I'm here and I'm happy. So that's what has kept me strong. But I need to educate the ones that aren't educated on a certain topic.
Which is a lot.
And by the way, I don't blame people, because one thing I've realized, there's a lot of topics in life that I'm not educated on because I haven't been through it. And we have to remember that the internet, there's a lot of people that have never been in love, have never been married, have never been divorced, have never had kids, have never been through stuff you have. And so we will all have opinions, but we don't know it till we've gone through it, right?
Exactly, Nikki. John Cena had already gone through it. He had a 3-year marriage to his high school sweetheart, went through divorce court, got burned, and said, never again. Nikki didn't understand that lesson. She didn't learn from someone else's experience. But remember the old saying, while it is wise to learn from experience, it is wiser to learn from the experiences of others. Nikki didn't, and she paid.
So let me tell you about divorce. So obviously TMZ put out, and then everyone else has picked it up, and everyone's had opinions about Artem and I's divorce settlement. It's everywhere. It is mind-blowing to me that our government allows all this stuff to be public, but that's, the way the world is, and it's okay, and we're here. The divorce has nothing to do with what happened, the incident, any of that. Divorce is divorce. Divorce has to deal with the paper, the contract you signed during marriage, the day of marriage, at the court before marriage, whatever. So our settlement is what everyone saw. Yes, I had to give him $200,000.
That's what happens when you're the breadwinner.
The breadwinner.
Beautiful summary, Nikki. Divorce is divorce. The court system doesn't care about romantic speeches. It doesn't care who fell out of love first. It doesn't care who cheated. It cares about the contract. Marriage is a contract. Nikki was the breadwinner, so she had to pay. Not $200, not $2,000, $200,000. Why? Because that's what the contract demanded. Now listen to the explanation.
There you go. There you go. Were people wrong for dragging John Cena when he was just protecting himself?
Yes.
I think so.
Absolutely, especially based on the fact that he had already had a divorce from a marriage that was super short. The fact that she probably didn't take that into consideration enough is what ultimately had her on the outskirts.
I don't think people drag John Cena. I think we should be specific. I think it was women. I can't imagine men dragging John Cena for wanting her to sign a prenup.
No, she didn't do it. The people in the comment section did. The people,
women.
The people that have to go to work and get 2 weeks of vacation a year, or have to ask permission to take time off to go to their kids' elementary graduations and shit. Those are the people that drug him through the comments. Nobody that's been through this before had anything negative to say about John Cena. I also don't think the people who drug him for it are wrong. They have the right to express their opinions. And now, if unfortunately their opinions just won't hold up under scrutiny, because you had a conversation with any of these people, and then you educated them about what it was that was going on, or about how money works or how divorce works, and then if he had shared his experiences, to the public, or was like responding to people that had that opinion of him for dragging it, then their opinions would have changed, unless they have a abnormal level of intransigence. And if that's the case, then you shouldn't talk to those types of people anyway.
All right. Does asking for a prenup mean you already think the marriage will fail?
Oh no.
No. I think that what most people need to understand, you have a prenup whether you like it or not. It's the default of the laws in the jurisdiction that you reside in. So it's either you're going to come to an agreement where when everything is good, so when something does go bad, you can kind of, say this is what we agreed on when we were on good terms. Let's just split amicably. Or you have to go through the default prenup, which is the laws in your jurisdiction. And, whoever that law kind of protects is who it protects.
I think it's almost irresponsible not to have a prenup, but at the same time, I think that most of us, I think we get our ideas from prenups from movies and like TV shows. But in reality, a prenup is just an agreement between you two. And traditionally, we think prenup like is a man giving you a contract without no prior notice and telling you to sign it. And if you don't sign it, then he don't love you. But I think a prenup should be collaborative. I think it should be both of you coming to terms on what you think is reasonable and what you agree on. But when people talk about prenups, it always seems like a one-sided thing. I think you should want the person that you're with to feel protected and to feel confident and to feel like you're not there for their money. And I think that you should want to, feel like that, is something in the prenup that makes sense for you. So yeah, I think not having a prenup is irresponsible because it's just like having a public defender. It's ridiculous. So
Everybody has the prenup. It's either going to be the one you negotiate with your spouse or the one the state negotiates for you.
Yeah.
And I don't think that the majority of people realize that it shouldn't be anything wrong with especially with women only wanting to date successful men. They want to date, but it seems like they want to date successful dummies or successful men that they can control and manipulate on the back end. Because for you to expect a guy to have all this money, all this fame, be able to do all these things, and then also in the same breath expect him to be stupid enough to not protect himself from the inevitable outcome of a failed marriage, since over half the marriages out here are failing, and whether it's 80% of divorces are filed by women, blah blah, all that shit. For you to expect a man to have the wherewithal and the intelligence, or just the intellectual capital, to go use that to make a lot of money, but then not use that same intellectual capital to come up with a strategy to protect himself, it's just one of the most unrealistic things about dating or women in the dating market as far as the expectations go.
I feel like if a guy asked me for a prenup, I wouldn't feel like that. But if I asked him for a prenup, I feel like just for myself, not for other people, I don't trust him.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I kind of wish Hank was on the panel because Hank has spoken on this before, and he said that he was against prenups.
Oh, I wish he was on the panel.
Yeah, I just got through hitting him. I sent him the link late. I forgot to send it to him, but I heard a lot of old school people who think like that. They don't even talk about it because when they get married, they're going to stay in it. So my question to the panel is: this prenup more of a modern thing, or you think? I know it's been around for a long time, but do you think the focus has shifted to make sure that you get one now versus back in the day?
I think it's a little bit more modern, but it's just a reaction to the pendulum shifting as far as witnessing so many people go through the trouble of losing terribly in divorce. Folks are just in a position to protect themselves more. It isn't like back in the day to where folks are proverbially burning the ships and saying there is no plan B. But now, because the I don't I don't want to say the bond isn't as strong, but the commitment and the duty isn't vastly as strong amongst the populace. So you have to watch out for yourself. And like Will said, the over half end in divorce, so it only makes sense.
I think back in the so when people talk about marriage and you know how like when I hear guys say, "Oh, a man knows within a year" and all this other crazy fairy tale stuff, they got to understand that like getting married to somebody versus getting married through the state with the laws that we have today are like completely different things, and like people conflate them all the time. A man can want to marry you, but at the same time not want to sign a bad contract. I don't think that he should be wrong for that, or a woman. Nobody should be wrong for not wanting to sign a bad contract. Like we happen to have laws in a particular state that you live in that are going to dictate, you know, what happens with your money. So yeah, no, like older. I don't know if older people just didn't have money back then in our community, which makes sense. Like you know, everything was a lot more simple. But no, we got laws now. We gotta, you know, you gotta think before you sign something.
Hey, JR, those old people that you know are like that. Unfortunately, if you go look at the majority of them, don't have money because old heads aren't just, or they're not dumb just because they're old, or you know they may be a little more religious because of the generation they went into. But the old heads, like we just say, so for example, if Hank was on the panel, Hank's an older guy, but Hank also isn't significantly wealthy. Like he's not, you know, worth 10, 20, 30 million dollars. So it's everybody, it's not just women who feel that, you know, prenups aren't bad. It's just some men just feel like it's not bad because they don't have the experience with it. But I guarantee you, you'd be hard pressed to find an old head that's been through divorce and been burnt that's talking about not getting, they will be like, oh yeah, no, I'll get married again without getting a prenup. That's like getting burnt by the same chick twice because you had unprotected sex with her. It's stupid. I don't, and one thing I like to credit, you know what I'm saying, older gentlemen with is the fact that you know that they're wise, and a wise man doesn't make the same mistake twice.
So would you say that it's more of the vetting of the man then? But do you think it's possible for a man to actually be with a woman, and if they were to ever come to the terms of divorce, that they'll just go their separate ways, whatever they came with?
It don't even matter. That's
Yeah, that doesn't even matter because a woman can be, again, when you get married, that woman loves you. She, you know, she'll lick the sweat off your ass. Like that woman loves you. But when y'all get divorced, she wouldn't piss on you if you was on fire. Like the drastic change and the feelings that a woman can have for someone that she once loved, and then she can now hate, you know, because you know, hate isn't the opposite of love. It's, you know what I'm saying, the next step past it. And when you see like understanding that, it's just weird to think that, okay, well, I'm supposed to be okay gambling half my net worth on the odds that you will love me forever. Like that's a foolhardy bet. And you know, as a gambler, businessman, we just don't. We're not doing that. No one is going to just say, "Well, hey, you know what? I spent all this time to make all this money, and you know, if we get divorced, I want, you know, you just take half of it." Even though I had this before I met you, I had this before I knew who you were. You didn't help me build anything. You didn't help me earn anything. You didn't teach me a skill. You didn't put me in a room with the people that I network with, that I do business with. You did absolutely nothing. You were Aisha Curry at best. You came when I was him. When you and then you stick around because I'm him. You stick around because of the lifestyle I built. So for me to not think that I need to protect myself from that, it's just not realistic. You wouldn't with me shooting in the gym thing is real.
Hold on, Dad. I'm gonna let you go next without the Bo. Go ahead, Bo, because she had her hand raised in the back.
I had a question to piggyback off what he said, but okay, go ahead.
So I think that people tend to gloss over the fact that prenups are not for just money. Like when I got divorced, they were like, your business is on the table, your retirement is on the table, the house is on the table, like my stuff. was on the like, I didn't understand, like, through mediation, both of y'all got to bring both of your financials, and both of y'all are susceptible to losing half of whatever or whatever they want. And so prenups are not just for money, that's for everything. And like, don't like buy property when you married. Yeah, because if y'all can't agree, then what? You got to sell it or whatever is agreed upon. So not just people with money need prenups and postnups, because you don't have to do a prenup, but if you plan on having property, y'all start talking about kids, you need a postnup. And so, because you need to figure out when you are in the right state of mind, when you are in the loving state of mind, what you all are going to do with these things and these people. So it's very important for just regular people to do it, because everybody does not handle life objectively and reasonably, especially when it's property that's concerned. Like, we need to not just think about rich people and prenups. I think that that's what I like about the modern relationships, is that people are waking up to the idea that prenups need to be a thing, to protect you, because the more emotional people get, the more hateful they get. The more love they have for you, the equal as much hate that they will have for you when you break up. And we all need to realize that. We all need to like open our minds. And man, I hate to tell you, it's not just your finances, it's hers too.
Go ahead, Don.
I was just wondering if most of the men on the panel think that women, like all women, is like, because I know a lot of women get hurt, but do they think that all women, like, I guess I could say, hurt the same, or like, because it seems like everybody kind of agrees that when a woman gets married, when she gets divorced, she's definitely gonna go after his money. Like, that's their connotation. And I really want to know, just based off of the women you guys have experienced in life, do you really think that about all women?
I think the vast majority of women are emotional beings, and I think that they are different people when they are upset, depending on how upset they are. I think that the vast majority of women have crash out somewhere inside of them, and when they will grab onto whatever type of power leverage that they can use to control you, whether that be a child, whether that be your secrets, whether that be your money or whatever. And I understand. I will never be with a woman who I think is different when it comes to, like, oh, she not, when she's mad, she not going, she's going to be logical like me. I'll never be with a woman who I think, no matter how much I love you, I think women have certain natures. So just, that's what I believe.
No, I get that, but do you think it all surrounds around like money? You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I was kind of understood what Lapeef was trying to go with this earlier. It's like he said, if it's the vetting thing, like you don't think you can vet a woman that when you guys get divorced, her main focus wouldn't be money specifically. Like, of course, everyone is hurt, in different types of ways, and crash out in different types of ways. But I mean, specifically talking about money at this point.
If there's no vetting a man can do that's going to change or give him more insight than just understanding what a woman's nature is. A woman's nature is to do what it takes to survive. She does all of these things after a divorce to maintain her lifestyle and survive. So once a woman's viability or survivability is in question, she is going to defend that vehemently, and there's nothing that you can put past her. That's almost like a person trying to, like, a man out here fighting to, like, for his life. That's what they're doing, and the tool they use is divorce and then the court systems. That's how they maintain their survivability. And so if a woman's survivability is dependent upon you, you have to understand, which is basically what marriage is, because men foot the majority of the responsibility in a marriage anyway. once that woman's survivability is attached to you, once you remove yourself, she can't take the things that she loved about you, like that you're 6 foot tall. You're saying that you're saying you got 6-pack abs, all the other stuff that women look for. The only thing they can keep and that they need for their survivability are your financial resources. So that's why it's common for men who have made money to understand, like we know what a woman's her nature is. And as a woman, you are going to do what it takes to survive. I don't even knock women for doing it. But what I do knock women for is the motives they have for doing it. And then the thing when they try to weaponize kids. If a dude makes $1 billion and he marries a girl who works at Whataburger and they get divorced, he have a prenup, she should get half of that money because he's a dummy. But now if she married him so she could leave and take half his money and also, take the kids and use that against them, then I think she should be hit by a car. It's the reason why this shit happens, that the women do this, is that has men who have been successful hesitant to get married without a prenup. Like, and somebody in the comment just said it, like, that's why women want to call their man a partner. Like, they want partnership. We're saying where they have equitable say, but non-equitable amounts of responsibility, especially when there's fault to be blamed. So if a woman doesn't want a prenup, or she wants to get married and she's against it in any way, you should marry her. If you're a man with money. If you're a regular nigga, you shouldn't be talking about a prenup unless you want to talk about like how many times you get sex a day, how much weight she can gain, and then you have to be willing to deal with whatever she's going to come back across the table with. Like, well, if you can't get it up, then I get this. If I want to if I keep this weight, then you have to keep me in a car that's at least 2 years old. Like anything can be put in the prenup. So if you take the money part out of it, you should do that. And you just be understanding that when you sit down with that person, what you're opening yourself up to.
Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like as a woman, like my goal is to trust a man with everything. Like, that's what I really expect out of my husband. And maybe that's a fairy tale thing, because when I hear y'all talk for those who are for prenups, it does make sense. But to me, as a woman, that's why I say it, just for me and my personal experience, I want to trust my man with my assets. I want to marry a person that I can trust with my assets. And if things did go south, I want to marry a person that I know his character, even when he's angry. So I get what you guys are saying, but and y'all made a lot of valid points.
Can I ask you a quick question? When you get mad, have you ever crashed out before? Like when you get, how would you describe yourself when you get super, super angry?
Now or then?
Just like if you were to get really, really, really angry right now, like
I'm in self-defense mode. The only time I get angry like that, I'm in self-defense mode.
Okay, I see a lot of crash out in you. I see it in there. It's not on the front. It's in the back, but I see it. You got it in you.
Nah, it's not something I've done like a lot in my lifetime. I can honestly say I've only crashed out in the last relationship I just ended. And I learned a lot about why that was, but it wasn't something I was comfortable with doing. I wasn't being vindictive or just trying to hurt somebody. It wasn't like that. It was always like self-defense.
No, I dig it. I see it inside of you.
It's
I
not
listened for.
It's not worth it. Trust me. It's not worth it. Ladies, don't listen to him. I am not advocating for that. Beautiful women, stay ladies. Do what you need to do to protect your peace. I am not for crash out mode, and I believe karma is real. So just because you are his karma, is his karma. Whatever you do to him is still gonna come back on you. So just be a bigger person. Walk away.
I listen a lot to everyone here, and when we are looking at like the vindictiveness of something, we also have to look at what caused that individual to be that way. If she comes and she's doing what she needs to do, and let's say something happens, like, are you, I guess my question is, when you are premeditating that she's going to crash out and she's going to be vindictive, are you also premeditating that you're going to do something that's so hurtful that you want her to forgive you and bypass it and still act like a lady while leadership and discipline was absent in you? Like, I don't understand, how do we always get to the female crashing out, and then we never talked about the laws and the changes as, time progressed. When women had a right to open up their bank accounts and things of that nature, which was in the 70s, so was most of the states all the way up until like the 80s have at fault divorces. So that means by default, if you cheated, someone can say you're at fault and hold you responsible. It was not until after that, mid 80s, I want to say mid to late 80s, did they bring apart irreconcilable differences, where someone can just say, I don't want to be with you anymore because I don't like how you speak to me, instead of work through it like adults. So are we taking that in consideration as well?
No, because the end result doesn't give a damn about the means. I mean, about the process. And we don't need to take that into consideration. And I have a question I want to ask for clarification. Is your assertion that at fault divorce hurt women more than it hurt men?
That was not my assertion at all.
Okay.
I'm just saying, did we ever take that in consideration when prenup started to become popular? The at fault clauses were lessening. Now we're about like 5 states in the whole United States. Whereas, a few years ago, almost 40 years ago, we were at the whole state in some way, shape, or form. If you're playing house with someone, there was some type of responsibility that you had.
So let's just to be fair, when we talk about these things, let's use like language that actually like fits the conversation, because 40 years ago is not a few years ago. There are people on this panel that weren't alive 40 years ago. That's a lifetime ago. So, and the amount of progress that's been made in the legal system for women, as far as women's rights go, you guys can vote, open bank accounts, all that other stuff. However, if today the amount women have gained more rights in marriage and business than men have in marriage over that same time span, because now the family courts are skewed heavily towards women. There are some states that automatically default to the woman being the better parent. There are also states that protect women and make men pay significant amounts of alimony. So divorce is a business for women, and it has been since women have been able to get to go get their own bank accounts. Like this, the independent. Like I ask you, was that your assertion? Because there's no way to tie that to the conversation right now. You're talking about what happened in the 70s and 80s, and we're talking about someone who got divorced in 2025. So that's why I asked to be clear what your assertion was, because at fault divorce is something that women have been fighting against. The only thing women fight harder against than at fault divorce is accountability. So with accountability being women's number one battle, at fault divorce is number two. So if you say, okay, well, you got to figure out what the man did. That's like saying, okay, well, what if the woman do for the man to punch her in her forehead? Like, if you don't want to give that same grace to both sides, it kind of makes the argument.
So no one said that it went to one side or another. And what I'm also saying is there is a trend. When laws change, social norms also change. So if we look back and follow the trend of at fault, irreconcilable differences coming into play, and the increase in prenups, there is a trend there. Why did that happen? What is going on? And I'm not arguing from a man's side versus a female side, or a female side versus a man's side. I am saying objectively, look at the societal norms and the trends that has been affecting us. And then let's get to the root, because we talk about change and we talk about let's have this conversation ahead of time and let's communicate. But we also have to go to the origin and look at what is happening objectively, not through our trauma, not through past experience or females or men that we have been exposed to, or quite frankly, we chose it.
Yeah. Grace.
So that's just really what it is.
Yeah. What I hear you.
2 seconds.
Yeah,
there is no correlation between the increase of at fault divorces and prenups. There is a correlation between no fault divorces and the increase of prenuptial agreements, because at fault divorces help men. That wouldn't make men want to go get more prenups, because now we could be like, yeah, you was a hoe, so I can divorce you and you not take half my shit. like China just did. Like China is no longer giving. China has fault divorces now. I wish that we would be like China, but the fact that no fault divorces are the reason why men are getting more prenups, because a woman can just say, "Hey, I don't want to be married today." That's what opened the door to women to go be able to screw men, to be able to screw men on the back end of the marriage. It wasn't at fault divorce; it was no fault divorces.
And again, and that's why I said when at fault went down, that's when no fault and irreconcilable differences became an excuse that someone can actually file.
Yeah.
So we're saying the same thing almost, but in different ways. I am saying that from the 70s to the 80s, there was a difference. And before, many states did not have irreconcilable differences. Prenups then entered the chat.
Mm-hmm. Well, I just want to speak to what I heard you saying. Well, how I interpreted what you said earlier. It sounded like you were pretty much asking, we keep talking about women crashing out, but what led up to that? What were the men doing? Like, for example, like, where was he cheating? Was he beating her? Like these, like, and that makes sense. I get it, right? But believe it or not, women crash out for much less. You don't have to necessarily be cheating on them. Like, I've had a woman who violated like one of my rules for a relationship, and I was going to end the relationship, and she crashed out because she said I'm taking her family from her.
What?
Her vision, her dream, and she crashed out. I didn't, I didn't know all of that, but you're taking my future away, and she crashed out. So,
and how was you taking her future away?
By leaving her family, what she envisioned, like what the family that she dreamed of, was her happy home. So
you got locked in a dungeon, huh?
Yeah, like it don't gotta be, like you cheating and you doing this, that, and the third. And to women, this is what I've seen is a woman's what's in her head can be a reality to her. Like, what's in her head can really be a reality to her. A woman can have a dream of you cheating on her, and she wake up, she's mad, and she'll be mad for a few hours, right? Like and I understand it because I can see it. I'm like, oh, it's so powerful on them. Like, it's like you really believe, what you thinking is a reality right now. So
what kind of crazy ass women y'all be messing with me?
That's the average woman, bro. Average woman, if she feels something is true, it's true. Like, that's not special. Like, those of y'all who don't feel that way, y'all are the minority. Like, and we men, we keep telling y'all that. Like, we keep saying, hey, I've been with more women who thought that they felt something that meant that it was real than we've had that wasn't. It's like women still believe in the fucking boogeyman. Like, you're somebody's a monster in the closet that they just opened the closet and saw wasn't nobody in there, but they still scared to sleep in that room. Like, if a woman feels something, that the way a woman feel is what's going to dictate how she acts more often than not. So I will give you all the benefit of the doubt to say that none of y'all are like that. But if we put you in a room with 1,000 of your contemporaries, maybe 10% of y'all will move that way. So the other 900 out here, and the other 900 is still cute, still looks good, can still cook, still nasty, still wants to be a wife. But that other 10% of y'all, like, that's when you say shit get kind of sticky, because it's not like y'all think that y'all are more emotional. Like, that y'all are more emotional than men. You're not more. Men are just as emotional as women are, but y'all experience more emotions than men do. That's the difference. Men are very linear in our emotions. Y'all have an emotion about an emotion that was triggered by a thought that came from an idea that you saw on TV that somehow pissed you off. Men don't do that. And now, because you're pissed off, you're spazzing on your boy saying, well, you're going to kidnap my whole family like that nigga in the movie did, to Mont's point.
Also, do y'all women do you notice how women believe in things? Like, it seems like women's perpetual state is to want to believe in things that aren't real. And I can argue y'all down about how my astrological sign does not tell you anything about my personality. But you will tell me that's bullshit. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a Pisces, so that's why you're saying that, right? You want to believe in things, and that's why we sell women trends and things like that. It's always a new superfood that somebody's selling you. Oh, it's this new pill out. It's going to make, like, that's the way you've always operated, because you want to believe in things that aren't a reality, and it's easy for you to grab one of those things.
Yeah, the woman's inherent need, an incessant need to believe in something, or to be in the middle of some sort of trend or ride a wave, is why women spend, I think 400% more, or women are like to spend way more money than, I think it's 400% more money than men do. That's why, because it's easy to sell y'all stuff. If I tell you this drink will make your ass fat and your titties big, flat-chested, long-back women are going to go buy that drink. All they got to do is put the right celebrity that those long-back, no-titty having women find attractive, have him preach that message, and now that's $1 billion company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, bro said it perfect. When you lie, women buy.
What's going on, Hank? Hank, just for clarification, man, before you came up here, they wanted to hear your stance about prenups. Are you for it or you against it?
I'm for or against prenup, right?
Yes, sir.
No, I'm not for it.
Okay. And why is that?
The reason why? Okay,
yes, sir.
Cool. I can do that. So the reason why I feel like you already got one foot out the door, you're preparing for the failure. And I don't believe in that shit.
What about business? When you starting a new business, you go into business with other people. Do you believe the same thing, or no?
They not my wife, so it doesn't matter. It's a different situation.
It's not. It's the same thing. It's
I'm having sex with my wife. I'm married to my wife. My wife's gonna give me a family. My wife's gonna make sure I eat every day. It's a big difference.
I mean, you just said things, but they don't. It doesn't mean anything in reality. The idea is that
to me it does though.
Okay, well, in order for you, when you say to me it does, that's you acknowledging that you may sound crazy.
No, I'm not.
It's like well, if you have you ever told a girl like, oh, no, that she ugly, and then the girl like, well, she pretty to me. When you add that to me, it's because you know that person ugly. I'd have just said, well, you crazy. She not ugly. She look good.
I'm not talking about a woman's looks. We talking about something different. You talking about some type of prenup for a business compared to with my wife? That's two different things. I'm not gonna say. I don't look at it as going in there, because that's, in my opinion, that's all it is. My opinion, but I'm going in there for already to fail. It's just a matter of time, and I don't want to move like that. I don't want to set myself up. We don't believe in using the D word. Me and my wife, we don't believe in doing that. So I'm not going to do that and bring that type of negative energy into the relationship.
Do you believe in car insurance or healthcare insurance?
Yes.
Why?
For just in case. We all know why.
What's the difference between getting a prenup? Hear me out. You have health care insurance because you know there's a high probability that you're going to need it, that you're going to get sick, your kids are going to be sick, or you're going to have an accident. You have car insurance because you see how these Mexicans drive in Texas. I mean, you're in Kentucky, so never mind, you're not there. But like, you see how bad these people drive when they're in these cars. And you want to make sure that your car is covered because you value it, right? It's about what could happen, and you're paying for those things. There's no difference than if a man who understands that the majority of marriages end for him to protect himself. So to say that it's like you have one foot out the door isn't inherently accurate. But what would be accurate is you saying that I don't believe in prenups because to me it would feel that way, instead of saying, well, that's what it is. Because I understand why you feel that way. We talked about it before you got here. You're an older guy. You're saying for you're a generation above us. And then two, you've already been married and divorced. So you have those experiences and your opinion is based on your life experience. But for men, it's no different than us going to go get insurance. Like, people have insurance on their fucking pets. Like, I thought that was the wildest shit ever until somebody sold me a policy for mine. Like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense because my insurance don't cover my dog. It's an expensive ass dog. I should take care of it. I should have insurance for just in case. A man knows that over half of marriages end in divorce. A man knows that 95% of alimony is paid by men. A man knows that should know, in the majority of states, the mother is going to be defaulted as the best parent for the interest of the kid. A man should know that the majority of child support is paid by men. They should also understand that the same way that the majority of time you buy a car, you're not going to have an accident. You probably use your insurance more for getting a speeding ticket, more often for getting a traffic ticket than you would for having an actual accident. But just in case, you go get that insurance. So just in case the wife you love loves you forever and then decides, you know what, man, this shit ain't for her. Just in case that happens, you get a prenup.
I understand what you're saying, but that's not what I'm preaching. That's not what I will put out there. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Now, if you guys do it, I'm not going to speak against you guys are doing it. I understand. I understand why y'all take that stand. I understand why y'all feel that way, the way that is. But if it was me, I wouldn't do it.
So can I ask you another question? Because like we got to know each other on these panels, and then we talk offline too. Mm-hmm. If you were worth 10, 15, 20, $30 million before you knew who Miss Hink was, before that woman was even in your stratosphere, and you've already been divorced and went through that process, so you know what that looks like, right? And when you went through that divorce, you were already worth money. You went through that process like John Cena. You went through the process, had a couple dollars, got fucked over. You've been fucked over once before. Would you have got married again without a prenup?
Yes.
Cool. The best part about it is you have the right to. However, that decision to when anybody else looks at that, it's a poor decision. No disrespect to you, obviously, but it's a poor decision. It's like fucking a girl who burns you more than once. Like you're doing the exact same thing and expecting a different result. And by definition, that's insane.
Well, my crazy ass gonna jump in the river then. I'm going.
Hey, listen, I'm getting married again too.
God damn it.
But
are you really?
Did you know that approximately 10% of divorce cases involve alimony, and that's a significant decrease from the 25% seen in the 1960s?
No, I mean I do know that they pay that. The only 10% of divorce end in alimony. I'm not, but how does that tie into what we're talking about right now?
I just thought women these days was just like, it's just what you said your experience was. It seemed like majority of women from you, and I'm not even gonna talk to you real dope, because I already know why your experience is the way it is. But Willie, yours seemed like it has a lot to do with money and stuff. But it seems like women are not getting married for alimony or looking to be taken care of, like just to get into a marriage and then get to divorce to be getting taken care of. It seems like the numbers, like they said, has significantly decreased. I honestly think that social media has a warp on your head, like for real. I don't think, and it gets so bad, and this is how you condition people to where we really start believing this is our reality, and then you go into these relationships with preconceived notions and wonder why you get the result that you get.
Period. I understand exactly where you're coming from, but there's 3 points we should need to clear up. One, you said me and Dope, right? So me and Dope have similar experiences with women because we have similar paths about being regular and then now not, being successful. So we can see both sides. However, to your point, 10% of marriages end in alimony, right? Because the majority of women aren't marrying men who make a bunch of money can do that. But if you further break down that 10%, the majority of those women who get alimony are stay-at-home moms. The majority, then the second largest part are women who just earn less. And I think it's like 70-30. But that doesn't change the fact that for those of us who have money, we focus on the divorces that happen in our stratosphere. Mont doesn't give a damn about what happened to a nigga who's a manager at the post office. It happens in his divorce. That nigga makes $80,000 a year. He cares about what happened in my divorce or what happened in his friend. He's saying his homeboy was an athlete to divorce because that's the arena that he's in. So when you hear us talking about it, the only people that should be having these conversations are people with something to lose. And I'm on record and being on panel with you saying the majority of men are average at best. The majority. So this isn't even a conversation, something they should be thinking about. Lastly, you said that social media has warped our minds. For only because I know mine personally, our life experiences are what we speak off of. Social media has no bearing on how we view the real world because for the people that do, they're never successful. The people who social media can influence and warp their minds and make them think that, oh, all women are bad, or all white people are racist, or all men, you know, are woman beaters. Those are saying what we like to say low vibrational. I don't want to call them stupid. I'm trying to be nice, but like, when the fuck it, those are stupid people who are able to be influenced by social media that way. Nobody who's influenced that way is going to be successful or even have to have these types of problems, because the people that are and do have money, they're marrying bitches with no social, without a prenup anyway.
So I have a question. You said you went from being regular to successful. Did that pool of change women? Did the pool of women change in doing that?
Yeah, it got wider, because so here, just I'll give you my timeline. Yeah, you know, I mean, I think I've been fairly
Hey,
transparent.
quick question. When you say regular, do you mean average?
Yeah, average women.
Okay.
So when I use average or regular, synonymous in this situation. I didn't start making money. I didn't change check. I have a significant tax bracket change until I was 30. I'm 42 now. Previously, I was in the military. We think we all know that. So in the military, the most money I made was like 130 grand a year. It was because I was deployed and getting a bunch of overseas pays, right? And that was only for 2 years. So prior to that, I had access to those women who want military men who, you know, I was doing good, right? I invested well, so, you know, I had a little extra on top of that, but it wasn't an issue. But when I got out of the military, started my company, and then started getting those checks, the reason why the pool changes is because, one, I changed, I evolved, I earn more now. So the women that I couldn't access, who were looking for men who earned X amount of dollars or who had the type of power or resources I had, I didn't have access to them as a regular nigga. But now as an irregular, I have access to all of those women. The best part about it is, though, that I'd already been through a divorce, so I knew what that shit could do. I'd already been divorced once, so I already knew what child support was. Thank God I didn't pay no fucking alimony, but I was able to beat all of those things, so I know what it was. I've moved accordingly since. So when I got remarried, there was a prenup involved. Like, and it was only for financial stuff. So, like, you know, I bought a lot of crypto before I got married. So, like, I wanted to make sure that I could protect those things, to keep those things separate, because I wasn't going to risk being fucked over again. Kind of like John Cena. I knew better. But now at 42, I'm not against prenups because I want to make sure that my woman is taken care of. Lord forbid I get married again and me and my woman, we get divorced. Lord forbid it happens. But I'm realistic. Mathematically speaking, it's likely to happen. You know, I can say we'll do all the work, we'll do the counseling, the communication, all the things that'll make a marriage last, right? I can swear to God I'll do all of those things. She can swear to God she'll do them too. But mathematically speaking, that marriage is still it's likely to end. But because of my pride now, there's no way that I could have the woman that I was married to when I was making money not be taken care of when we get divorced. It's not possible, because that would make me look bad. It would make me look as bad as my wife working at McDonald's as a cashier. It would make me look as bad as like my wife being homeless after we get divorced. So to me, the prenup that I would come into is like, say, hey, we married for 10 years. You get $100,000 for every year that we're married, right? Make that part of mine. And then also, one of the businesses that I have or that I built for her, I will give to her, so that way she is self-sufficient, because she still probably has my kids. And then two, if she wants to carry my last name, she can't be out here looking stupid. She can't be out here struggling. And that just because of how I look, because of how it would look against me now. That's part of the responsibility of getting married again when you already have shit. So mind you, it's impossible for a woman to fuck over a man who's smart. It is literally impossible for a man who's armed with information to be fucked over in this arena. Super hard, because we know how to protect ourselves. Mike and I've had this conversation before. We don't have to get married to give our girlfriends, my girlfriend, his fiance, all the rights of a wife. We don't have to get married. We can do that through legal documentation. And it may cost a little bit more, but she still gets the same first right of refusal, will and testament, executor, all that stuff. We can get that through documentation. The state doesn't give us anything. The only thing that a state will give to a guy in our position is that it makes the things that we do, or our duties in marriage, it makes them enforceable by law, while none of yours are. And just to be crass and make an example that all intellect levels will understand, because I see some ignorant niggas in the comments, my ability to protect and provide can be enforced upon you. I mean, it can be enforced upon me because that's my duty. Your duties in a marriage are not enforceable by law. Nope, I can't go to court and say, hey, I need a domestic violence restraining order because she's not cooking and I feel like she's attacking my stomach because my stomach and back are touching. Or I can't go to an attorney and say that I want to file a lawsuit against you because you don't suck my dick but once a month and maybe twice is my birthday month. Like all the things that men benefit from in marriage by having a woman, they just don't have anything that can enforce that. But everything that we do, everything that you love about your man that makes you want to marry him, you can go use the court system or law to enforce him to do those things, even after he's married.
And it's not that like, so and I try to be very careful with my words. So I made sure I said that the vast majority of women, whenever I say anything, I say I think the vast majority of women, not all of them. But I think it's just wisdom. Like wisdom tells you that better safe than sorry, right? You can love the man you with, the woman you with, like to the end of the earth. However, is it objectively better to have a, thought of a prenup before you went to a marriage versus not? Subjectively, yeah, it's better to have done that than to not have done that, because ultimately you don't lose, you only win. Like, so it's just conventional wisdom. And yeah, it's my, I'm wise enough to know that people don't know who they are, they just know who they want to be, right? So I'm pretty sure all the women on this panel think that there's no crash out inside of them, right? And they think that, oh, I'm different, right? But I don't believe that most people know who they are. I think you know who you want to be, and that's who you think you are. You think you're a woman without crash out. You think you think you would do this in that situation. Everybody think if they was a professional athlete that they wouldn't have blown their bag, right? Oh, he lost, how he blow his bag, like everybody think they think they would be these type of people, but people don't know who they actually are. So yeah.
So hold on, Mike, because you remember you told us.
Go ahead, go fix my words up.
No, I ain't mixing up your goddamn word, because it's now you said you're gonna take care of the woman. You said you're gonna take care of you because you're a man of your word. You don't need no paperwork to do these things. Remember you told us that?
Absolutely.
Okay. So what the fuck you need a prenup for?
So you ain't so this is the thing, Hank. You heard that part, but you ain't hear what I said after that. I said that
take care of these efforts.
I said that.
That's what you said.
I said the paperwork is for the woman. Like my woman know that she can count on me. She knows she can count on me. She know that if we break up, she gonna be good. I got that shit to hold her in check. Like I'm good. I done proved it a million times over.
Let me play some more of this clip, man.
I got you.
And also, there's a lot of different things that happen to make that number. I got a steal, I'm not gonna lie, which is crazy to say. And the one thing is our judge, we did private mediation, said at the end of it, this is the first time in all the years I've done this where a woman had to pay a man.
Did you hear that? Risotto!
This is the first time in all the years I've done this where a woman had to pay a man. And the judge said, you should be so damn proud that you built such an empire that someone wants a piece of it. Now, let me tell you the learning lesson. If you ever get married again, promise me you will make them sign a prenup. And I was like, I promise. They go, hard lesson to learn today because of the money you're going to have to pay out, but be damn proud of yourself. Yeah. And it was nice to hear that. And I was, even though it hurts, because I broke my neck for that money. That money, all that is my hard-earned money.
The judge bailed her out. Why? Because she's a woman. The judge told her she should be proud that she built an empire someone wants a piece of. That's not justice. That's affirmation. For a man, that's standard protocol. For a woman, it's a wake-up call. And let's be clear, this was a steal. With a net worth of $10 million, a $200,000 payout is getting off easy. Women only understand the value of a prenup when their money is on the line.
Right. And can I just say a side note, just on the prenup thing? I told Nicole many times, he needs to sign it. He needs to sign it. Please annul. Please annul. Everyone, I don't care. Everyone knows I'm the bad guy. And you believed in such a fairy tale and you're like, you let it go because you loved him. So I will say that, like, because people always try to make the worst of evils and the villains, and it's just so crazy. Mm-hmm. When, just coming from a sister point, a lot of you who listen, you guys have best friends, sisters, family members, and, there's us to like, are the audience watching and being like, do this, come on, please. And the other one, you know, people easily get lost in love. So it's kind of how, like, when I see all the comments and all that, I'm like, you don't even know where this all actually stemmed from when you're looking at the settlement.
This part is important. Nikki and Bree had a reality show. Artem proposed on that show.
Really, man.
Artem.
Prenups are not romantic. They're seen as distrust and not loving me 100%. And Nikki couldn't do it because then she'd look like a hypocrite. Why? Because she broke up with John Cena for setting boundaries and creating a legal agreement. She couldn't turn around and demand a prenup from Artem. The sisterhood would have destroyed her. So she chose love and paid for it.
I know. Well,
And it kills me.
Well, here's another kill rumor. They're all like, oh, so he got the money because she lost. Like, no. Child support. If you are the breadwinner, if you make more money, it is literally a state calculator. They put in the incomes and they go, boom, this one makes more money. This is what you owe per month. At any point, by the way, till Mateo's 18, we'll always have to go. We can always go back to court or not. And this is anyone relationship, and you'll have to do the calculators again. And child support changes. And so, because sometimes people start to do better, they do worse, and blah, blah, blah. It's strictly having a kid in a marriage. That's all it is. So everyone with all these stories, winners, losers, this and that, like, you just have to educate yourself on things. And that's what I've realized about the internet. And I try to give so much grace because I'm like, they haven't been divorced, or they haven't been married, or they don't have a friend who's been through a divorce. All of it's strictly divorce. And believe me, I did great in it because they wanted to settle. I was going to trial.
They wanted to settle really bad.
Well,
I didn't listen to what she said, but was it a word salad? It felt like I didn't.
It was absolutely a word salad. Like, basically, she's trying to cope with the fact that this lesson was brought to her a long time ago. She could have learned from it and had the man that she really wanted. She had the opportunity to have everything that she wanted, and she blew it because essentially you could say it was greedy, but more than likely, instead of listening to his business acumen, protection, and correction, she opted to listen to the sisterhood, and she had to pay the price.
I think that this is where, when men say your friends will keep you single, this is an example of it, because there's no real accountability in that conversation. And there's no real, I would say, like, wake-up call. You had this same situation presented to you. You thought it was, a joke. You thought he was basically cussing you out and saying that you're not important in some way, shape, or form. But then you turn around and have to go through it. And there's no real reason for the divorce beyond what happened after the separation and the divorce, which was a domestic violence, but it was never noted during the marriage. So I don't know. Listening to her was very hard.
Grace brought up a good point. One of the common tactics that women have in 2025 when they're going to get divorces is to make some sort of allegation of domestic violence, because it automatically gets the man out the house. So that allows them to establish possession for the home. Ms. Grace, I'm gonna say we're married, right? And so you fucked up and you've done something that makes me divorce you. What you would then do, if you're like most women, a lot of women today, not gonna say most, but a lot of women today, is you're gonna go down to the police station. You're gonna say that you're gonna file a claim of domestic violence. But you're smart. You're not gonna say I beat you up, because that's easy to be challenged in court. So what you'll do is you'll say something like, I'm verbally abusing you because we've had arguments, and I told you, I'm saying that, I said something about your hair, or how you leave hair in the bathroom. You look like Cousin It. Or I said your legs is furry or something. So you use that, me saying whatever about you. Or you'll say like that I put a GPS tracker in your car, which is domestic stalking. So you'll go get that done, right? You'll get you turn the waterworks on, pull your titties out, get that police officer and magistrate to sign that temporary restraining order. That puts me out of my house for 30 days. You know what else you can do in 30 days? You can establish possession of a home. So you do that now, right? So I'm out of the home for those 30 days while divorce proceedings is filed. I can't come back to that home until we go back to a court to go get that restraining order addressed or the domestic violence issue addressed. The majority of the time, the men are going to agree to a no contact order to not have to go through not let it be left up to the judge, because it's based on her opinion. It's not a preponderance of the evidence. It's based on what is said and what's presented to her in court. So unfortunately for men, a lot of these judges are women, they're gonna believe women. Like, my ex-wife was a military. She used to go to court in her uniform all the time, make her look good. So you've done that now, right? That's what happens today. So a lot of these guys who are going through divorces are experiencing this because women are telling other women to do this. Like, women are advising women to do this. Attorneys are advising women to go do this. Like, when you get on the phone call with your attorney, she'll be like, well, has he ever called you out of your name? Well, how does he do that? Oh, that's like a pattern of abuse to me. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go down to the court. And if you've already paid her or retained her, she'll go down there with you. Tell you what to say. You file it. You get in. It works. And I'm telling you, it works.
And you know what? I'm a piggyback, and I'm probably gonna confirm. So in part of my day-to-day in the community, I do speak with various types of women, and there was one particular female that I did come across who was married for about, I want to say 10 years, kids with the guy, and she liked a certain type of level of intimacy. If he was to wake her up doing whatever, like, she would be happy about it, right? But when she was not getting the level of romance and attention and that she wanted, that became assault. And she used that as the basis for resources in order to get a divorce.
Yeah. It happens all the time. That woman now has the house and she has the kids. And just to be clear, when you go get that temporary restraining order, they directly admonish you against cutting off any utilities, not paying for the bills because you're not in the home. Like, you're still responsible for that house. Like, they say things like, if you have security cameras in the house, you are to relinquish your access to it. It's like, you got Ring cameras in the home, you got to change the password to hers, give her the password. Like, they're very, very specific because it's the whole thing about, like, trying to protect women. So women are taking advantage of that and using, like, that victimhood as a weapon too now.
Go ahead, Bo.
So I'm going to say something controversial about the men, because I think that it's been way too long since I've said something very egregious to men. The reason why you all meet so many women that do not want to sign a prenup, those very smart, well thought women who are very considerate and they know what paperwork is because you all reduce us to our reproductive organs, how we look, and how submissive we are. And then you get the dummies. So I just would like to say that y'all pick them. And I really want y'all to pick them better because, old ass washed up woman like me knows the value of a prenup. And you probably should have had your kids already. That's your fault. But you all keep picking these stupid women and you all goes for whoever it goes for, right? And so they don't want to sign your prenups because they want your money. I don't want your money. But women like me, y'all, we don't care nothing about your degrees. We already had this conversation. I'm not addressing it like you would say it. But there are men that would completely disrespect an educated woman just because she's educated. And for those men, I'm saying you probably should care about somebody's degrees or somebody being smart or someone being 45 because we'd sign your prenup and you won't be in danger, most likely.
Period.
Well, two things, JR. I'm gonna challenge you to do something. The next time we have a conversation that's about women being single mothers, you make sure me and Bo on that motherfucker together. One. So that's one. And then two, men aren't disrespecting women, disrespecting women's education. We're discrediting it when it comes to you women using it as saying it's a means to add value to them as a partner. You having a degree in social studies doesn't mean that it doesn't help me at all. You being a lawyer doesn't help me at all because I don't need your money. When we're saying that, like when women brag about what makes them useful as a partner, it's always some shit that they want the man to have. They want the man to have a degree. They want the man to be smart. They want the man to make money. All of those things y'all talk about make you good men. It doesn't make you a good wife. Like if you ask the average woman like what she brings to the table, her degree, her earnings, her independence, all of that, none of that shit fucking serves us. We want to hear about, can you shut the fuck up? Are you a good listener? Are you emotionally safe for us? Are you emotionally intelligent? Are you logical? Are you feminine? Have you ever sold pussy before? Like those are the things that will matter to us. We don't give a fuck about you having 6 degrees, 5 associates and 1 bachelor. That shit doesn't make you a good wife. So we're not disrespecting your education. We are just discrediting it as far as it goes, as far as vetting you as a woman goes.
Really, I think it went over your head.
It makes you a great employee too, though. I would say that.
I think what she said kind of went over your head.
Employees by the man you want to date.
It kind of went over your head. She's saying
nothing went over my head.
Most of us women who is working and bringing something to the table is to prove to you that we're not here for your money. We're not here for survival reasons. That's what she was trying to tell you. We're the ones that's there because we actually want to be of value to your life. And sometimes men do not believe that if you're coming into a relationship with just not talking, not nagging, not doing those things that you just said.
Sign a prenup then.
If you think a man
I'll sign it and I wouldn't be offended. I would just prove you wrong. Like this,
if you think that a man, like if that's an interesting take about what you said that Bo just said, a very interesting take. I'm fairly certain that Bo knows exactly what she said did not go over my head. So I'm not worried about that part. But just to be clear, you having a job and being able to survive is basic. Like you don't get credit for that. That's basic adult shit. Like that's what you're supposed to do. The same way I don't get credit for opening your car door. I'm supposed to do that. Or I don't get credit for protecting you. Like we don't pass out participation trophies. Like I'm not about to award or clap for a fish because it swam. That's its job.
Come on.
You being able to earn your own money, that just means you're a functional adult. And there are plenty functional adult women who earn a lot of money that get with the man that has more and then lose ambition and then expect and feel like they're entitled to his money. She was driving a C-Class Benz when she got with me, but now that she's with me, she thinks she should get a G63 because I can afford it. So again, nothing that Bo said went over my head. I spoke exactly to what Bo said and to what I was making sure, just a point of clarification. And I bet if you ask Bo, that she would be like, well, yeah, discrediting does seem a little bit more accurate, generally speaking, for what men do when y'all talk about your accolades and all the other bullshit that makes you a good man or an employee.
Okay, Bo, go ahead.
Willie and I have had an in-depth conversation about degrees and earnings of women and stuff like that. So I knew why he addressed it that way. But I will say he did address what I said, but I think that more or less I'm also saying that men like someone who shall remain nameless at this point do the dummy approach, and they're like, your eggs are almost gone, so you're useless. And you know the dummy I'm talking about. That's why you started laughing.
What?
But and you should go get a 25-year-old because she in her prime. And so that's also what I'm talking about, because men my age that's halfway to ED and a heart attack, they want to talk about me being the same age as them as being like useless, and women who have lived experience that would happily sign a prenup because we have equally. You have, I don't want yours, you don't want mine. Or we figure out what we do and don't want, because it's not about not getting anything. It's about getting what you agree upon. And so we can logically think the way a 25-year-old cannot logically think, and they're not going to sign that prenup unless they're under duress and they like, I want to marry him. I'll probably, get something anyway. I'm going to have some kids and get some child support. Whatever. But go ahead and have them kids with that 25-year-old. But that's also what I was saying too.
If you have kids with a 25-year-old, you're 1 billion% going on child support. And your child support is going to get increased when your next girlfriend looks better than she does. Like that's
I think because Bo had made a comment that like y'all choosing women who don't want to sign a prenup. I don't think I would ever be with my women. Listen to me. Like I don't. They listen to me. They think that I'm intelligent. I teach them a lot of things. I change their perspectives from when I first meet them to something totally different. If I meet you and you're a Republican, you're gonna be a leftist when I'm done. If I meet you and you're a leftist, you're gonna be a Republican. If that's what I want you to be like, I'm very persuasive and I talk a lot. So, I'd have Bo being a MAGA if I wanted to. So
not a fuck you won't.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a little bit.
I'll put. Listen,
she wouldn't just be MAGA. She'd be outside.
I like to bet on things.
I'll swim in the ocean before I do, and I can't even swim.
I want to pay money to see. I would make a bet with you on the side that you couldn't pull that off.
What?
If you can pull that off, the next thing you need to do is to get me to agree that trans women are women. Because that's how cold you would be.
Willie, I would have her doing street interviews in a MAGA hat, asking people at asking people for their opinions.
I don't know, man. Bo is too seasoned and black to.
All right.
I can't see it. And mind you, I'm not a MAGA supporter either. I just agree with some of the shit that he does, and I don't inherently view everything that he does through a lens of how is this fucked up for black people or how is this evil like the majority of black people do. So, but I voted for myself and my homeboy this last election. Like he's a comedian, so I feel like we'd be a great 1-2 punch. But I do understand some of the vitriol he gets from people. I get it, but at the same time, I also understand why like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just used to, dysfunction because I'm a Cowboys fan, right? So maybe that's what it is. But I'm also realistic. The same way I know the Cowboys aren't going to win the Super Bowl every year. I've never said that. We get 10 games, we fuck up in playoffs. I'm a realistic guy. I'm also realistic about, looking at, the MAGA crowd and, what they talk about.
All right. Let me just play the last bit of this clip.
Okay, Bree, remember when I said, can keep this light?
And this is why she's so calm. She knows this was a steal. She could have lost half of everything. Instead, she pays $3,500 a month in child support with shared custody. For her, that's a win. But remember the numbers we usually hear. 50K, 100K, 200 freaking K a month. When you hear numbers like that, you better protect yourself because no child needs that much money to eat.
I work really hard and the child support doesn't bother me because I want Mateo to make sure his life in the other house is equal. And that is the one thing too. Everyone will bitch and complain. Oh my gosh, this is about child support. When you're in the courtroom, child support is so the child could have an equal life in both homes. That's where it comes from. And so it is hard and you're like, oh, it hurts, but it's so maybe the other parent can get a better place for rent. So then your child support goes to that, right? Or they can eat the same organic food or so right. For me, it doesn't, I don't even think twice about it because I'm like, that is making sure Mateo's also 50-50. Half of his other time is a good life.
Right.
But
she's being politically correct. We all know it's women who receive the brunt of these massive payouts. Dunking on child support would mean dunking on the very system that benefits her gender. But notice what she said. They can go back to court for 18 years as life and income change. I want you to keep that same energy when your ex-husband demands more money because he can't keep up the lifestyle, when he expects you to pay for it because it's 50-50, right? John Cena was right from the beginning. Prevention is cure. Stay out of the courtroom. Stay out of the system. Protect your money. Protect your future. Protect yourself. Modern marriage is almost guaranteed to end in divorce. Don't be a fool. Man, I we working. Protect yourself.
Okay.
I just want to say one thing. The edits on that video are so lame. The voiceovers, the affirmations to men. Oh, I know it's dry over there. Oh, I know it's been dry for a long time over there.
What would
But
you
that's
rather it
all I'm
sound
gonna
like?
say. Huh?
What would you rather it sound like?
Oh, listen. It's not for me. It's called manosphere. Right. It ain't for me. It's just my opinion on it. If y'all like it, I love it. It's lame as hell to me, but that's just my opinion.
God damn. My ink voice. So I guess the panel seems to be mostly deciding as far as you definitely need to get a prenup. Probably got maybe about like one or two people may think that a prenup. Ladies, would you guys sign a prenup? Okay. So if you met a guy, he's worth just say $5 million. Once you sign a prenup, you sign it?
I just want y'all to nod y'all head too fast so I can know you lying.
I would sign it. If I want to get married to him and I said this is my husband and that's what he needed to feel safe and secure based on whatever he been through in his past, that ain't got nothing to do with me. That really ain't got nothing to do with me. Honestly, it don't have nothing to what I'm gonna do in the future. It has nothing to do with the way we're gonna resolve our problems. It has nothing to do with how he's gonna take care of his kids because I'm marrying a man that's gonna be a good father. What is it gonna do to me unless I plan on fucking up or I'm marrying the wrong dude?
So, personally, having worked the way I have for myself for 20 years, I know how hard it is to get things. I know how hard it is to build a business. I know how expensive paying for your own retirement is. And so I personally I'm just not that inconsiderate. Like, I'm not going to come in and be like, this mine now. Because I didn't work for that. And also, if he wants to award me something in the end, if there's an end, fine, great. But I'm a hustler. I'm going to make it either way. I'm not homeless for a reason. So I'm going to be all right. But also, if you meet a man with means and you are not smart enough to match his hustle and get up and get it like him and get your own, or at least have some drive to do something, you're doing it wrong. If you're relying on him, you're doing it wrong. And so in the end, you really don't deserve anything. So I'm just a realistic person in that way, and I'm considerate because I don't want to take something that I didn't work for. That man worked for all of that. He should get to keep it. That's his.
So I have a quick question. If it's a rich man, right? Because I thought about this. Because I know somebody that's in this situation. He's not, I don't know if they're rich, but he put her in in the marriage, he doesn't want her to work. He want her to stay home, take care of the kids. She just had a new baby. What if and this is I want to know the fellas' opinions. If a man asks his wife to stay home and not work and to solely depend on him, do you think it's wrong for her to ask for a prenup?
Hold on. So say that again.
I mean, do you think it's wrong for her not to sign the prenup? If you're asking the woman to stay at home, not work, bear her children, do you think it's selfish of her not to sign the prenup?
Yes, it's stupid of her not to, because that prenup is going to define what she's actually looking for.
Yeah.
So if she didn't want to do it, I would know that she's retarded, and I don't have.
What if the prenup went against him, like doing having alimony, right? What if he said, "I want to, if we get divorced, the terms and conditions is whatever I came in with is what I leave with, and whatever you came in with is what you leave with," and he knows that he's asking her to be a stay-at-home mom and all this stuff. You know what I'm trying to say?
Then she's a
This
dummy.
happened before. It's a lot of men who do things like this and try to use that marriage and power as control.
There are a lot of women that are stupid. Then, if a woman signs that knowing that a man wants her to be a stay-at-home wife, she's fucking retarded, and she deserves every bit of hell that she gets. The same way I said a man would deserve all the hell he gets for not getting a prenup, that prenup can protect her. She can say, okay, cool, I'm gonna be a stay-at-home mom, but that means, okay, let's see, for my field that I'm in right now, these are my average earnings. The average person with 10 years in X field earns $100,000 a year. That's what I'm going to expect for every year of marriage. She can go in there and do everything that she needs to protect herself up front. Like, it's not just the man protecting himself. Both parties get protected up front. So if a woman is saying her husband says, hey, be a stay-at-home wife, she agrees, but then signs a prenup and doesn't outline that, she's fucking retarded.
I would I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you think that women should find a man who's a leader and they should be submissive to him, or pretty much obey his, follow where he's taking them, where he's leading them to?
Can you clarify? Because for some reason when you said obey, that just triggered my brain in a way that I didn't even know I would be triggered.
Okay. So do you believe that a man is a leader of a relationship? So do you think that essentially his woman should obey him?
I don't that whole sentence there. I don't understand that. I really don't. I cannot comprehend that.
What is it about obey that?
What is your definition of obey?
Wait, let me explain. So
because when people use it in the church, let me tell y'all the reason why I say this. I learned it in the church setting. In church settings had always said obey, but they say obey without question. That's when people usually use that word, they want you to be given direction and to follow direction without question.
Well, that's what obey means. Well, it means you can ask me questions after, right? Like, so all right. So you do believe that a man is the leader, so that you should pretty much you should follow the orders of the leader, right? Because that's what leading is.
I should follow whatever the way he wants his household to be set up. If I decide to marry that man, that means I agree with it and I'm willing to follow it.
Okay, so essentially, it's possible that he could lead you to hell, but it's also, you're hedging your bets on him leading you to salvation because you chose that man and you think he's a good leader, even though it's a risk that he may make the poor decisions.
The way you view marriage is weird to me. I feel like he's already proven that before marriage. That's the reason why I'm marrying him. Like,
I'm just trying to lay the groundwork for something. So
yeah, but I understand but the groundwork is kind of shaky. But go ahead.
No, so you understand that if you choose a man, you're choosing a man that you think is a good leader, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you know that by giving this man, by being submissive to him, it still is a slight risk that maybe you made the wrong decision. It's a slight risk. Is that it's a risk there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would argue, right? I would argue that a woman not signing a prenup is her not being a submissive woman. And I say that because if you don't sign a prenup, one day if you do get a divorce, that will give a woman leverage to for that man to no longer be the leader, right? He won't be the leader of that situation. It'll be the law. The law will be the leader, or her. She'll get more leverage, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you trust your man and you believe in if you believe in what you say, that a man is the leader, then you trust that if he says, yo, we need a prenup, and it don't matter what they talking about, I'm gonna make sure you straight. Whatever I decide at the end of this is what I decide.
Mm-hmm.
As a woman who believes that a man is the leader, you're like, all right, cool. I trust that you're going to make sure that I'm straight.
Mm-hmm.
So I would argue that a woman who doesn't want to sign a prenup is saying that she doesn't trust her man, and she doesn't trust him to be a leader. She doesn't trust him to protect her, provide for her, make sure that she's good.
I'm not. I don't feel like I'm willing to. I agree with you. I don't feel like I disagree there.
Okay.
And that's only because of my. And I just want to make this clear. I don't want to speak for any other women, but that's just because of the type of woman I am. I already told you at the beginning. If I decide and I'm against it, and I have preconceived notions.
Okay. She had Proverbs 31 woman.
A lot of women listen with their triggers when it comes to talking about prenups and marriage shit, and a lot of men saying listen with their eyes and not with their ears to what women are saying. One of the best things that I ever received from like a mentor in like the life coach that I had was talking when I was going through my divorce was this: if your woman has an issue with and doesn't understand the inherent correlation between being led and being obedient, and then the subordination of a wife to her husband, that marriage is never going to work. If a woman has a trigger by like words like obey, subordinate, leader, not being being equitable but not equal, those women are not the ones that you need to marry. And anytime like dealing with fathers' rights and dealing with my nonprofit shit, when I talk to those guys, we get into the conversation. I'm like, every one of them. I have not found a guy yet that had a wife who was okay with those words, who submission didn't trigger, obey didn't trigger, subordination didn't trigger her, or like that she wanted to have a say in everything. Like, because a woman as a leader, like even the military, you have to obey the orders placed by your leaders. If you don't obey orders, you can't be led. If a woman doesn't obey her husband, she can't be led by him. And if you can't be led by a man, that man shouldn't protect you, because a provision of his protection is the fact that you are obedient to his rule and his protection for you. A good example of that is when guys are like, no, my girl doesn't go on girls trips. It's not because he worried about you going to Miami and being a hoe with the rest of the girls on white fucking toenails. It's because you are under his protection and he cannot protect you there. And then he also has to protect you from your friends, protect you from the world. So the same way that if you have a really nice car, you wouldn't want to leave your car parked in the hood with the doors open. You don't want to send the woman that you value to Miami where she's going to be surrounded by niggas trying to fuck her and girls who are trying to fuck other niggas. Like, and so she's not willing to obey you and get on your program. That woman is someone that you can't lead, and she doesn't deserve your protection.
Also, go ahead, Bo. I'm sorry.
So this is a point where men and women need something different. Just like when I use the word partner, it's a glitch in me and y'all think that it's disrespect or us wanting to be equal. When I use the partner, I'm just talking about a team. I'm talking about my husband or my boyfriend or my man or whatever, he wants to be called. But when I say partner, it's important to me because I need to feel like we are on the same team. We are working together. That does not mean that I think that we are equal. Just like when you all say obey to us, it makes us feel like children, like we're just supposed to do what you say. And sometimes it's not a good idea to do everything that someone says. Sometimes you have to use discernment because it might be a bad decision and you're going to have to listen to me if that's a bad decision. However, I get what y'all are saying. Like, I am not disagreeing. Like, I know what y'all are saying. If another man had said this on this panel, y'all, I'm a glitch in a minute. My eye gonna twitch. I can't, like, I done shut down. But because I've had a conversation with the men on this panel in a certain way, it made me glitch a little bit. But then I'm like, I understand what y'all are saying. Like, I know what y'all are talking about. But it does make us feel like children, like you don't respect us as like full adults. So it's just a thing. Just like y'all don't hear what I'm saying when I say partner. That's just a thing that happens. So some kind of way, like you're gonna have to be patient when a woman is like, "What?"
I just
We feel like small ass children when y'all say, "Obey what I said." No.
If you said teammate, that would not trigger any man ever. But when you say you want to seem like you're on the same team, teams don't have partners. Like when there's no partners on the Cowboys, they're all teammates. If you said teammates, nobody would have an issue with that.
Right.
Hey, they're still a quarterback and you're a receiver.
But see, if you found another word for obey, we could probably understand it. But
That's why it didn't trigger me.
There is no different word for obey. Obey is the perfect word. For being in the military, if I listen to someone who is my leader, I have to obey him to get to the mission. I am in the military because I believe in
somebody is in court.
If you
right
get
now
married to your
about
husband and you don't believe in his mission, you're not going to want to obey him. That man should not marry you. You should not marry that man. Obedience or obey is the perfect word. The problem is that, again, not speaking to anyone directly, generally speaking, women have an issue with that because the only time a woman wants to be in a childlike position is when she's in the passenger seat of her car. When we're in the airport and we walking through security and I'm looking at shit and she's just following along or on her phone. Or like women want the responsibility of a child, the power or respect of a man, and then the benefit of being a woman. So it's you highlighted exactly what we talk about with women. Women only want to be in a child position when it benefits them. Because imagine having a man who tells you what to do, you do it, and life goes well. That's a good leader. If you have a man who's telling you to do shit that doesn't work, and you know is a bad idea, that means that man is not a good leader. Because again, to lead people, you have to know what's best for yourself and both of them. So you being in a child's position should be great. Like you should be able to walk outside with your man and turn your fucking brain off because you know your man got it.
I don't disagree.
That's a child's position though. When I'm out with my kids, they are literally doing being kids because they know I got them. It's the same thing.
Can I say why it triggered me? It stemmed from church. It has nothing to do with feeling like a child or nothing like that. It's just the ignorance that people put on following either God without any question, which is something God never said himself, or just people in general without any question. For instance, Bo brought up the term partners. I've been around married couples that have been married for 30 to 40 years that use that term. The only reason why men of this generation is triggered, and you can look it up, it's been around since the 20th century. That's when it started. Men of this generation is irritated by it because now that's a term that's usually associated with with the LGBT community. It has nothing to do with women trying to diminish you or trying to put you down. Just like I don't think Monty, I don't think he's the type of person to well, sometimes, but I don't think he wants his wife to be led with ignorance, right? He wouldn't recommend his daughter to be led with ignorance, right? And when I mean by ignorance, it means like just going and like the current he used military personnel often. It's a situation going on in the media right now where an officer followed orders because he thought his job was to obey the president and not the Constitution, and now he's getting the backlash for it. Sometimes I wanted to, like when he explained, he like, yeah, just do it now, and then if you need to ask questions later, that's cool. If my husband told me that, I'll be fine with that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be fine with that. But for men to think that we're not human, and to think that they're God to the point that they can't be questioned when we have questions, that's where I want to make sure. I want to make and it's not because of what men do, but like I said, it stemmed from religion. Religion was the first place where I learned, oh, follow this book and don't question it, and if you do, you go to hell. So it didn't stem from men making me feel like a little kid or anything like that. I was very specific on where it stemmed from.
Yeah, I know we got DJ in the back there raising their hand too. And I'm sure Grace wanted to say something as well.
Go ahead, Mom. I'm
back. So I understand like I think I understand where people are coming from with this thing, but you got to understand that when you question the leader, right? It's nothing. You're a human, so you're going to be inquisitive. You're going to have questions, right? But you have to understand that when you put yourself in a position to where you're asking a question so that you can determine if it makes sense, that means you're trying to be the leader. If that makes sense. Like if you're asking me a question because it doesn't make sense to you and you're like, hold up, wait, before I do this, let me put my thinking cap on and see if I can determine that this is what we should be doing and this is what I should be doing, so that then now we can move forward. Like you're essentially putting yourself in the position of a leader, and that's why men don't like that. Now, we're not saying that we don't want you to make suggestions. We don't want you to genuinely help us come to a conclusion or make a better decision. Or we might even think that you made a better decision, so we're gonna go with what you said, right? But I think most of the time women are trying to be the leader and they don't even know it. When they ask us, like, oh, hold on, why you telling me to do that? Oh, you think you're the leader now, huh? Like that's really what it is.
Do you give me an example?
Okay. Let's say I told you, let's say we married somebody breaking into our house. I'm like, yo, I want you to go downstairs and I want you to go in the back room and I want you to do this. And before you do it, you like in your head, you like, yo, this not computing. It's not making sense.
I'm still gonna do it. I don't give a fuck. I trust your ass. You take my ass back down there. Like I'm gonna do it.
I'm saying like there are
can
women.
You give me something that's not so far fetched, something that can happen, within a marriage, a situation that can normally happen within a marriage that most women that y'all feel like women tend to be combative with. Can you give me like that type of example? Nothing that extreme, because in that situation, of course, a woman should follow. You feel me? But give me something where a woman thinks that her, I guess the way y'all kind of put it, her intelligence, she might think she knows more, or know better. Do you mean something like if you told her like, okay, this month I need you not to get your hair done, your nails done this month, just don't do it. We just gonna skip it this month.
I mean, that's cool too. That and you can be a part of any situation.
Like, and then if she questioned you, that I could see why that would be irritating, especially if you.
It can literally be any situation when you're thinking that it doesn't make sense to you, so you need it to make sense in order for you to do it. You're taking the way that you think, and now you're making that's now the dominant processor for this situation. You need to process it and you need it to make sense in order for you to do it. It don't matter what it is.
But y'all never give us examples. Like, I want to know, what have y'all experienced that make y'all think women are like this? Like,
he says you can't go, you want to go on a girls trip. He's like, no, we're not doing that.
Okay.
There's your example.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
But you're doing it right now.
Or he says, hey, you're not finna spend $1,500 on a wig because we saving up to buy a house. But you tired of having straight backs because you don't want like that lesbian from Set It Off. Like
I'm gonna wear my fro.
That's what he's talking about.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, and I understand why y'all would get frustrated with that. That makes sense. Those are things that I get what you're saying.
This is an example right now. No, I'm not your man, right? We're not together. But this is an example of the how it is right now of you need this to make sense to you, or like you need it to make sense to you to move forward, right?
Yeah, because of my experience as a woman. If you notice, a lot of women when we're talking to men that we're not dating and we don't know nothing about, I want to be careful what I agree with you. I don't know what type of man you are. So yeah, I'm gonna ask questions to clarify to make sure, you feel me? But with my man, somebody that's my husband, like you said, those type of conversations and topics is no, but yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't matter what it like, you can ask as many questions as you want to understand, as long as you do it. You do what he asking you to do, and then like later on, you're like, hey, I just want to understand this. Cool. But in the moment, if you are trying to make it make sense to you, you're trying to be the leader.
Or she might just have ADHD. You never know. But go ahead, go off.
Go ahead, DJ.
I'm saying it looks different in women than men, but
I mean, largely when we when we have to go through this, it becomes extremely inefficient. So if you have to constantly say to somebody or get permission from their own mind to follow out a directive, it's going to take you that much longer to do it. If we're in a competition with other couples and I say you should go left and you're like, well, should I go left? Now we passed up. As far as obeying, you have to obey the law. And that doesn't mean that you would be a child because you have to obey the law. It's just a word that means, yeah, go ahead and follow through with the directive and don't make it an inefficient process. And understand that somebody's giving you the directive as a form of protection. This is a form of love. Nobody is putting you in a position on purpose, especially if you trust them as your love, to put you in a bad position. And on top of that,
my bad, because I can't reach it.
When they're directing you, if they direct you into a bad position, they have to take that L. They have to live with that. It's actually more upon them. So it's more on them that they would lead you in the right direction. And that's more why you wouldn't actually really question it, especially if you already chosen them as your leader.
And when you have a leader, you're to do what you're told and then ask questions about why later. You're not supposed to say, before I do this, why? It's okay, babe, okay, go do it. And then like, hey, why did you have me do this? I'm like, hey, why did you tell me not to get my hair done this week? And then he explains it to you. And then you have that like, oh, because what that'll foster inside of you is like, well, if my man says something, it's always going to be a reason why. And that helps you. That also would reinforce the trust you have in him. But again, none of y'all should be talking or dealing with niggas y'all have to question. If you have to question their leadership, you shouldn't be dealing with them, and they shouldn't be dealing with you. So that's the hill I'm gonna die on. If a man has to fight and argue and like he tells his woman to do some shit and she doesn't do it, knowing that he's the subject matter expert or he's trying to help, like make her better, and she's still refusing, like, no, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't lead a horse to water, or you really can't make it drink. But you can drown that motherfucker though.
Okay, Grace, what you thinking? And I saw Bo come off the mic too, so she may want to follow up.
I mean, it is just so much. But I would say on this one, I agree with the men. It doesn't matter about where the trigger of the word came from. It's still subjective. And when you do question someone, especially someone that you say that you're submitting to, that means that there is a lack of trust for them. And for me, if I have to go into analytical phase with the man I'm with, then I don't need to be with them. It's okay to have a conversation. If he's, talking to me and, we're deciding on where we want to go next. But if I give my insight and he says we're going to still move left, then we're going to move left. Because at the end of the day, a leader is going to hold all accountability. And if that's what I want, that means that I have to listen to his instruction. But also he understands that everything's going to fall on him if something does not work out. I'm happy. I think it was real dope when he said, it's not that, we don't want you to give us insight and, pour into us or cover us. And I'm adding my version of words to it. But I think, especially if it's in a public eye, then it shouldn't be a question. Then it should be a do, and let's talk about it later. I think that men listening, I hope that they understand that women do have access to environments and information that they do not have. And if your woman is providing insight on whatever, then, you know, you take that in consideration.
Go ahead, Bo.
Well, I was gonna ask Lulu something. But I was wondering, because this always comes up when we're talking about like leadership and women listening to their men. I guess I asked the rest of the men on the panel. So, is it unfair for you to have to sort of explain yourself for a little while? Because I feel like you all don't understand how very few men are actual leaders out there, because women deal with men who do not make good decisions, who are not very kind people, do not um who do not have their best interests at heart. Like, there are a lot of men who just want to control, who just want to tell us what to do. So when you get these reactions out of us, it's mostly just because these men are stupid and incompetent out here. And so it's not necessarily you, it's her trying to get used to actually meeting someone who does know how to do that. So
So
is that unfair?
So unfair is not something you should even talk to about men, because men don't give a shit about fair. The world doesn't give a shit about fair for us. So it's not something that we even really can. Most men don't. Excuse me. Most functional men don't worry about fair. But if we're going to go take the fair route, what's unfair is the fact that we have to worry. The reason why your ass is hard headed is because of the niggas you picked before me. I'm dealing with some shit that happened 3 niggas ago today while you with me. So is it okay for you to want to ask questions? Do that shit while you're dating. Once that man is your husband, all that asking questions shit is over. The time for you to get used to a man's leadership is before you're married, not after. Like, I would hope that's common sense. But agreed, most men aren't leaders. Most men aren't put in position to be leaders. Most men aren't raised to be leaders. And then when most men think leadership is just simply doing what they say, they're not understanding that it's like, you know what I'm saying, you have to emulate what you want your partner to emulate. Imitate. It's what they say about kids. Like, your kids will literally imitate what you emulate. It's the same thing. So my wife will do what I say because I've demonstrated that what I say is best for us. If your man hasn't demonstrated that for you, he shouldn't be your fucking husband. And like, as much as y'all say, you know, a lot of y'all love this this buzzword, lived experiences. Like, it's common now. Y'all got to understand the fact that you are used to dumb niggas, as you put it, or men are stupid that aren't leaders. That's your fault for picking those niggas and giving yourself that time. Keep that shit far the fuck away from me, because when you get with a man who is a leader, he's not going to tolerate that bullshit from you because he's a leader. Imagine the successful guy you want. That man is out here bending other men to his will.
Pause.
No, it's not. I didn't say bending over. I said to his will.
I just heard bending other men.
Yeah,
I just paused right there.
Like, the man you want can bend the world to his will. He's a leader of men, strange men that aren't his, any relation to him. That man he's not finna go home to a curious or inquisitive ass woman. That man's wife is doing what the fuck she's told because that man has proven that he is. But that's the difference. That woman has a man who can do that and probably knew, well, hey, just because, I've been with 15 niggas. Of the 15 I've been with, 14 of them niggas wasn't shit. And now I got a nigga that is. I can't treat him like I treated the other 14 niggas. That's the problem with what you just said. Because now you're putting men like, okay, Hink, Mont in a position where they got to deal with this shit that another nigga did 4 or 5. It's almost like how y'all do with nudes. A girl take a fire ass nude 5, 6 niggas ago, and she'll keep that bitch in rotation. Like, so now we dealing with the same shit or issues you had with the 4 or 5 niggas before us today currently. And that shit that's what would be unfair.
So
go ahead.
And I don't mean like fighting back against it, right? Like I don't mean like full on disagreeing with it. I just mean like literally just asking questions. Okay, so well, why? Because like for me personally, I'm an information person. I need as much information as possible to feel comfortable. And that's just me at base level. That's just who I am. So, but the more trust is built, the less questions I'm gonna ask, and I'm gonna be like, "Don't worry about it, you good." But and I don't say that to mean like the type of women that are still dealing with trauma that are like, "I'm not gonna listen to you. You don't know what you're talking about." People who are literally fighting against it. I'm just like, why?
Well, I mean, one of the things that I would do, I do often is always give some context. So I may say something and then I may explain why. I mean, it's not like a long thing. I may say, "Hey, I need you to do this so that such and such such," just so you can understand why. Because if I'm not around, I need you to understand how these things work. So I may give some additional context in the event that I'm not around, that you know what to do, or you have an idea. And I do think the fact that you know, but when certain things occur that you know how to respond to it, I think that shows like leadership. I don't really care if you know the information. It's not a secret. It's just if you are that close to me, you got to understand how some things move, because I'm not going to always be around here. And if I got to step away or go out of town, these are the things you need to do.
But this is why I said women ask for two different reasons. She said she asked questions in order to feel comfortable with doing what he asked her to do. My questions, it like, or the reason why I ask questions is just genuinely because I want to learn. I'm still in school now. I'll probably be in school till I'm 60 years old because I genuinely like to learn. And I do hate when I do ask men stuff. They're thinking I'm being combative versus just trying to learn.
Well, I mean, it is a thing when somebody just keep asking too many damn questions. I got some people in my family, and I'm not going to say who, and I don't want to talk on the phone because they ask questions all the time, just nonstop. And I get that it's a big thing when it comes. Some people just got some annoying tones, and I don't think some people recognize it. You as a person, not you in particular, but you got to ask yourself, if a lot of people don't want to talk to you, you're probably annoying. And it's not your fault, but it's just unfortunate. It's one of those things. So,
No, I don't
you
have
know,
that
being
type of issue, but I would ask questions just to get in people here. Like, for instance, if y'all said Diamond, if my husband told me, Diamond, I need you to do this, once he told me he need me to do this, I'm gonna go do that. You know what I'm saying? But um it's just sometimes when I've noticed when certain people use certain words, it kind of dictates their character, right? It kind of dictates who they are, how they communicate, what they expect, how they expect it, their tolerance level. It explains what environment they probably grew up in and got their discipline from. It says a lot, you know. And that's the reason why when certain things are asked on the panel, I do, you know, ask questions and stuff like that. But overall, I do understand what y'all saying. I do feel like I've been in leadership roles where I would delegate tasks and I would tell one person, hey, on this spreadsheet, I just need you to worry about the greens. I need you to worry about the oranges, and I need you to worry about the yellows. And if the orange come and tell me like, well, what is the yellow for? Hey, I'm delegating tasks right now. I don't need you to be worried about the task I gave you. And if you have any questions later, come. I understand that completely. I do understand that. But I've seen situations consistently, not just and single, but even in marriage, where I would see women genuinely asking small questions. Like one woman, she been building because that's what she liked to do. She asked her husband, like, "Okay, are you sure you supposed to be nailing it in that way? Because you know when you hold the nail at an angle, it's not gonna go in correctly." And I'm sitting here watching this, and he gets upset, like, "You trying to lead?" But in reality, she just noticed that as he was nailing the nail in, it just wasn't straight, and it was going to ruin the foundation. So that's why I'm trying to ask, how can y'all tell when a woman is questioning y'all to be combative versus genuinely trying to be a help? Because it sounds like when you just say obey and do it, well, I'm putting up these cabinets, let me do it, and if it's fucked up, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, what it sounds like is just a man. I mean, I don't think every man is like that.
Gotcha.
So I think it's an issue with the man himself if he's just firing off like that.
Because the things y'all brought up in situations, I agree. If my man told me you're not going to Miami with your friends, hey, my man told me I gotta stay home. That's my husband. That's my hubby. You feel me? So a lot of the stuff that y'all saying that women do in relationships, it's just like, damn, like, do she like you?
I struggle with that. I struggle so hard with that. You can't go to Miami. Who the fuck you talking to? Listen, I struggle so hard. That one, I'm gonna have to be like, why? Now, I'm gonna want to know why. I'm not gonna dismiss it. I ain't gonna be like, you got me. Fuck. Listen, why? Because you must have a good reason. But listen, if I can't go on a girl's trip with my girl, I'm not sure you're my man. Cause why? What is going on? Like, I struggle so hard.
But that's why I say if it's my husband, notice what he said. He said if it's your husband. So I know my husband know me. So if my husband telling me that I can't do something, because I really don't go on girls trips like that. But if he's telling me I can't do something that he know is the access to my happiness and mental stability, it gotta be for a good reason. If he my husband, it gotta be for a good reason.
I know, but I'm still going. Because listen.
Fine,
I'm
then,
going to hang out
because
with my friends, man. Because I can guarantee you, I ain't gonna be on South Beach. I'm not going.
the
on
one
South
thing
Beach.
I had to
I'm trying
learn that
be at the
sometimes it's
club.
not about what we're asking. Sometimes
Maybe he just needs you
it's
home
about our
one day.
tone
Maybe
as
he
well.
does.
If he could
Another
put me through
thing
the mattress,
too,
I'll
we
say.
put a
Can y'all hear each other?
No,
it's a delay.
Yeah.
Grace, you good? Is Grace better
Okay.
now?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a delay or something.
So yeah, I've been seeing that with the screen. What I was gonna say, just from my learned experience, and it was nothing bad, but it was just something that was brought to my attention by my brother. And I'm happy that he did this before I even got married. But sometimes it's not about the question, it's about the tone. Because sometimes our emotions can translate into our tone. So if we're looking at it like, why are you even saying this to us, but we don't say that, and we're asking the question, that tone can still like deliver that emotion, if that makes sense. And then the other part about it is that before that man is even your husband, he's your fiance and he's your boyfriend, there's still going to be a level of trust, even when he gives you advice or insight or a directive to say, you know what, nah, Las Vegas is out. Are we going to put emphasis on the title or emphasis on a man?
Grace, how do you feel about girl trips?
I think they're good. I mean, but at the end of the day, I'm no longer, if I'm in a relationship, right, you submit to that person, that man, right? So sometimes when you're in a relationship, there is a time where you don't lean on your own understanding. Men see things that we don't see, and women see things that men don't see. And if I'm submitting, then there is a time and place where he's going to say, yo, hold off on that. And I might not like it initially, but that could be my protection later on.
How do you decide if it's protection or control?
This is where you have to know who you're vetting and who you're submitting to. There's a discernment. You're not going to know. You don't have a crystal ball with a man or in life in general.
Okay. Hey,
I was about to say, like, even like I remember years ago, when like it first came up, like my girl going on trips without asking me and stuff like that, and I kind of told her like, yo, that's not a thing. You know, you can't go nowhere like to Spain or somewhere without asking me. And she had like a meltdown, like she was crying and all this type of stuff. But I think that's a part of that. That's a part of that acclimation phase of like being with the first man who you've ever been with. That's like, yo, I want to be responsible for you, and you're not about to just be going anywhere you want to. I do believe that there are a lot of women who just need a little bit of grace to get to that point where you need them to be. You know, like my girl is not a stranger to, you know, wanting to go on a trip and having to, you know, kind of run that pet and talking to me about it. And I'm like, oh hell no. And she like, what? Like, what are you talking about? I can't go. Like, you know, like, you're not my dad. She pulled a "you not my dad" before. And then I asked her, what does your dad do for you that I don't? And I literally told her everything that I do for her. And I said, so articulate to me why your dad would deserve more respect from me. I pick you up from work at 3 a.m. in the morning. If you got into a car crash right now, you wouldn't call your dad, you would call me. I make sure you eat every day. You like, your dad has his own wife, he has his own woman. You talk to your dad every 5 months. Like why would your dad deserve more respect than me? And she was like, you're right. So we never had a conversation again.
So if she would have went on that girls trip, would you have given her grace?
No.
But you just said you got to give him a little grace.
Not that's not what the grace is for. The grace is for her. The grace is for her to understand what I'm saying. The grace
shit.
Oh, the grace is for her to understand that she might have a little fit. She might cry a little bit. She might cry a little
double
bit.
talking. The grace was in the having the conversation in the first place.
Will, don't save it.
Will, we gotta. This is what he do. We gotta let him do it. Let him twist my words up.
Now, you said you're gonna give him grace. That's what you said, right? So when she come back, she gonna expect that grace.
Ain't that type of grace. Y'all know what I mean, though. The other guys know what I mean. It's cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it's like if my woman, we had the conversation and she's like, well, I'm going anyway. She's just gonna come. She's gonna be going to the airport single. Like, I'm not.
Mine ain't doing that shit, man. Come on, man. Will, mine ain't doing that.
I think he will. It's never gonna be a time where like my woman can.
Mine said he gonna take care of it after she leaves.
So y'all would divorce y'all wife for that? Y'all would divorce y'all wife for that? If y'all told her she couldn't go on the big girls trip,
I wouldn't marry
my
nobody.
wife died. She
I
not
wouldn't
my
divorce
wife.
my wife because my wife wouldn't be that stupid. I quit fucking with a girl that I'm dating, or I cut my girlfriend off if she did that. But outright defiance of me trying to protect you is a fireable offense.
Yeah.
So.
So Grace, you asked me, you want my thoughts. What would you want my thoughts on, man?
Oh, it was a while in the conversation ago where
like it.
I just
you
wanted.
can always bring it up. We ain't talking about shit now, but girls trips that my wife ain't going on. So you good?
Now I do have a question for your guy, for the men. If you know that her and her friends, 8 of her friends that they grew up, they have religiously took yearly trips to various places as a bucket list, you would say it's a no-go as soon as you get into a relationship with her?
Yeah,
Chris, can I take
I wasn't responsible for them.
Yeah. Let me tell you what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a new trip. I'm gonna be right there with them.
I wasn't responsible for you then. Like, you weren't my woman when you were taking them trips with your friends. So all of that shit you were doing with your single friends is dead because you're not fucking single. And then 2,
no, we going. We all going.
I'm responsible for you. That's the thing, right? So if you go, a lot of y'all love going to the Bahamas and let them niggas rub that mud and shit over your body, right? Not understanding how dangerous the Bahamas is for single black women.
Some
you
crazy
go down there and you get kidnapped and shit. I'm not Liam Neeson, so I'm not coming down there with these sets of skills that I've acquired over a lifetime to come over there and get you. But when you get kidnapped, you know who's gonna be mad at me? Your daddy, your mama, our kids, your friends, my family, your family, because we're at the end of the day, I'm responsible for you. So for the fact that I'm responsible for you, and if you were to take that trip, would have you outside of my protection and my provision,
Why don't you come with us? Come with us.
Aside from the fact that you're doing some shit with your single friends, like A woman that does single shit in a relationship is a woman that's not fit to be married.
How you know they single? Why they can't all be married going on a trip?
Listen,
I can send you a
if
couple
you
of my
want to
friends
argue
that's doing
outliers
that
or
now.
just make up reasons to argue, like again, you're gonna prove another point we made
dead
earlier.
ass serious.
But again, I'm not trying to be funny. The majority of groups of women are comprised of single women because when women get married, they don't have those big those big groups of friends anymore. Because they don't have time to. You don't have time to maintain all those friendships and then be with your woman. Be with your husband.
So flipping this trip.
Yeah,
I don't this goddamn.
You try to input some personal shit. That's cool.
It's a couple trip now.
At the end of the day, if I say you're not going, you're not going. Now,
it's a couple
I will explain why, which I just explained to y'all. That's why it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But
no, great.
If she tries to push back, she can go. I'm not telling her she can't go. The part that I'm saying is you can't go and still be my woman. And still be my woman is literally the silent part that should be understood.
Yeah. No, Grace, I want to answer your question. So I'm not like the other guys. I'm not like 100% against girls trips or nothing like that.
There you go. See what I'm talking about?
Go ahead.
There's that Grace.
Go ahead. You go, Hank.
No. There's that Grace.
But gracefully, what I'm not 100%
you, Grace.
girls trips, right? So, but for me, the first thing I would need you to understand that if I do feel like I don't want you to go, then you're not going. Before we even can talk about if I want you to go, like if I'm okay with it, if I'm comfortable, you need to understand that if I do say I don't want you to go, then you're not going, right? What? Even though you've been going on this trip all your life and all that type of stuff, because I don't want you to think that since you've been doing it all your life, that I can't say nothing about it, or that I can't, oh, I've been doing this the whole time, so you can't, no, I don't want you to have that impression. I want you to understand that. No, if I say no, it's a no. But it depends on the context. It depends on where you're going. It depends on how long you're going. All of that matters, But I'm not.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to girls trips. It depends. But I'm also one of the men who say that I can tell my girl you can't be friends with her no more. I'm one of them guys. So I kind of pick my girlfriends to a certain degree. So, and I think that's my role as a man to some degree. So,
and can we not act like
should I do all that and she's still not going? I don't give a shit, man. What are you talking about, man?
Can we not act like that's not
you flip flop?
That's been proven a lot. That women who travel a lot and do solo trips or girls trips tend to be promiscuous. There's a direct correlation to that. And it's weird when I have a hard time. This is what I struggle with. I have a really hard time not associating this thing to a person when they argue against it. So if a woman was vehemently mad about not going on a girls trip, and then say she's a nurse, it's already strike one, right? Because we know most nurses are whores. If she wants to do that and go on a girls trip, I'm going to feel like you going because you just want to go do some hoe shit.
Period.
Because we men who go to these places and have been to these places, the single men, we know what y'all are down there doing. We know you down there sucking his dick while your boyfriend is in the hotel waiting for you. We know that you got a husband at home that's FaceTime you 15 times in the 4 hours we were together because he's insecure. He knows what you're doing, and your goofy ass forgot to turn your location off. We men have that same lived experience as y'all like to bring up. And in that lived experience, we know what you women are doing on these girls trips.
Okay, so I just want to say this. The same way that you say when we was talking about the man situation is the same thing with the woman. If it's your wife, like we said, when I had put it in a space of me being with my husband, the man I'm choosing, the man I'm going to do this. If you think your wife has that type in her, if you think she the type to go on a girls trip with single people, why is she your wife? We're talking about your wife here. Ain't that the same thing you said? So when I gave you answers and you was like, no, we're talking about your husband. This is one thing that I hope I find a man who trusts me as much as I trust him. The man I married, I hope that when I say my I do and I trust in that, I hope he has faith in the woman that he married as well. Because it's a double standard there. Y'all say y'all get offended when y'all ask us, when we question y'all, but Bo and women who carries themselves and Grace, women who carries themselves with dignity, with moral standards and values, they'll be offended. Why don't you trust me? Have I not proven myself to be your wife? That's crazy.
Then I would just answer that question. I'd be like, Grace, I know you don't suck dick for money, but I know 2 of your friends have before. Or I'd be like, Bo, I know you're not a whore, but some of your friends are. That's what I would say, and that would be the problem.
Your wife have hoe friends? That's who she surround herself with?
Damn.
I'm not trying to be funny.
I'm just asking.
Again, not being funny. I would say that you'd be hard pressed to find a woman who doesn't have one friend that used to be a hoe or does hoe shit.
And she's going on trips with that friend too.
They're
She's
her
not.
friends.
That's not a friend.
Like, and in Grace's point, they have been doing this shit religiously for 8 years. Like, I'm a math-based guy. The odds of a girl having a friend group where there's not one pussy seller or dick sucker in that group is slim to fucking none.
And Willie, I'm so sorry about your experience, and that's
not
probably
wait, so
it might have a lot to do
like
with
it's
your
my
money.
experience. It's what I've
pull
observed.
Of women, your money
It's
change.
my
but
observation from women. It's not my personal experience. I observed women on these panels who were like that. We had a whole girl on here who was a sex worker.
All of the married women I am in contact with now that's been married for 30 years, that's in their 50s and their late 40s, and they've been married for 30, 20, 15 years. They don't have whole friends. They whole single friends they go on trips with. That's why I'm confused. See, and now it makes sense why a lot of the stances that you took early on Prenup, it makes sense. Because that's it, and I'm not saying those group of women don't exist. I'm very aware of them. I'm very, very aware. But I am also aware they're also in that pool of women that you now have access to as well. But that's not an excuse to say that's what the average woman is doing, because based on what you told us, you haven't dated the average woman and been in this vicinity for a while now, like since you got out the military. So
let's make sure we don't misquote. I didn't say shit about the women that I've dated. I didn't say I haven't dated average women. I said I haven't been average. Unfortunately, men tend to date down. We have no choice to. The majority of men will date down. So an above average nigga will probably not marry an above average woman, because if you use the same metrics for a woman that make me above average, we don't want to fuck with them women. We want the women that are regular, that are doing regular jobs, that have time to still be feminine. We want those women. So to make sure that if you quote me, it's specific. Gotcha. And then again, these aren't my personal experience. These are my observations from being a man. I haven't had a girl. None of my women have gone to Miami on girls trips because I wasn't doing that shit when I was an average nigga. That shit just wasn't going for me. But I have been to Miami, been to Vegas, I haven't been to the Bahamas in a while. I've been to a lot of these frequently traveled places, and I see what y'all are doing. And when I say y'all, I say women. I see what y'all are doing. And then two, just understanding that a lot of the guys that women find attractive that have access to women, they don't see these women as women they can't get, even though they know they're married. We see you down there with the big ass ring. We see you down there talking about your man, your man, your man. As soon as them drinks start flowing, that nigga got the right car. He say the right thing. He give you the right feeling. You going with, excuse me, not all of y'all, but a lot of y'all are going with them women.
But we was specifically talking about your wife, though. Remember, we was talking about the woman you would be married to. That's what we was
again. So actually, what we were talking about, what Grace asked is, why are you guys married? What's your wife going? And then said, would you be mad with your wife going, and she had been going previously 8 previous years?
You start giving these connotations on what could happen. And I'm like, why are you marrying a woman like that?
Well, that means no man could marry you, because anything could happen. If that's the case, anything can happen to anybody. But the likelihood of it happening when you hang out with whores is significantly higher. Like the likelihood of me walking down a dark alley in the back, likelihood of me getting robbed when I'm in a back alley in the fucking projects is higher than when I'm in the neighborhood I live in now. It's just, I'm told you, I'm a math-based thinker. I look about the probability of things. So if the girl wants to do a girl trip, she did it for 8 years previous. We get married year 9, there is no girl trip year 9, 10, or 11. And that's even to say, like, say the guy has all the money in the world and he can pay for security to go down there and make sure she's safe. Why would he do that?
Well, I prefer to go trips on with my man anyway, but
that's smart.
Go ahead, Bo.
I am having my first girls trip next year, though. So
I know you got some nasty friends.
You single. You supposed to do shit like that. Like, you don't have a man, so you doing a girl trip ain't no big deal.
The only reason why I don't do girls trips, and I'm gonna be honest, and I'm sorry that I was just playing devil's advocate, but I don't do girls trips for what Willie just said. That's the reason why I don't do girls trips, because at a certain age, especially when we was younger, they just want to go down there and look for boys, and I really want to go have fun. I want to do jet skis. I want to go skydiving. I like going to the club. I was on the cruise, and the DJ was like, "You didn't leave the dance floor all night," and went back to my room because I genuinely wanted to go out and have fun. That's why I said, well, I don't know. Hopefully this next girls trip, because all of us is on a healing journey. It's just supposed to be us. Focus on us. Let's see if that works. Because I kid y'all not, I am always the friend that's just like, listen, it's supposed to be healing. They're like, but I might be turning into my husband. And I'm like, girl, not on the...
baptize you in that man
According
juice.
to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, on the Shannon Sharp, she said that there's no such thing as healing. Like you're never healed.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't feel
I hate
like
that
there's
I
a
agree
such
with
thing
her.
as complete healing, but you can heal a problem and then you just a new one gonna come up. You got new problems. But
In
you're not gonna catch me
2025
making the same dumb mistake over. Like, come on now.
in 2025, it seems like women are in a perpetual state of healing and never get fucking healed. It's like you'll be healing for the rest of your life from one thing or another.
Yeah, we got to get Bo. Oh yeah, we got to get Bo.
Sorry, y'all. My
that one to chime in. Go ahead, Bo.
So
yeah, put me on the list there somewhere too, Jay. Somewhere on the list.
Gotcha.
There is a universe that exists where single and married women can go on a trip together and nothing happened because that's happened before. I was the single friend with my married friend. It was two of us and a married friend. And I'm always the guy magnet. I don't know why every trip I go on, I am the one that it is the guys just right over.
You need to put some clothes on.
I don't dress like that. Like I just am, I don't know. So anyway, point is that just because like guys will come over and try to buy drinks and all of that, I would never influence my married friend. Neither one of us. It was two single girls and a married girl. We would never influence her to do something on a trip. And I was in my 20s because you respect the sanctity of marriage. So you don't do that. But also, even in my older age, right now, I have married and single friends. And all of us, the only thing we do on a trip is shop. We be having books. Like we be bringing a bag full of books and we sit around the Airbnb and we read and we luxuriate and we get a chef to come and fix us some food. And like we trying to go in vacation. See, vacation ain't clubbing.
My detector test determined.
I can do shut up. I can do that where I can do that at home. I don't want to go club nowhere. Like I'm 45. We're going to read books, get somebody to cook for us, going into the spa somewhere, go shop. We not. So anyway, point is, I'm still going on that trip, man. Please don't tell me I can't go on a trip. I would hate to break up with a good man because you don't want me to go on a trip.
That would just mean you prioritize going on that trip over that good man.
Don't gaslight us into thinking that it's not 45-year-old, 50-year-old women who trying to get cracked.
No, I'm saying there is the only thing I'm saying is there is a universe that exists where the women are not like that. That's all I'm saying. But also, I have not been with many men that wanted to go on trips like that. So I was left going with my girls. Now, if I had a man that wanted to travel with me, listen, I would gladly take sand to a beach. Because to get bent over in any city, I'm okay with that. Because
I feel safe. I feel safe. Like it's just like it's different.
First.
And boys are way more fun than girls.
Yeah. If my man don't want to travel with me, I'm going with my girls. I don't know what to tell you.
God damn.
Go ahead, Grace.
Cold world.
Yeah, I agree with the ladies on this. There are a subset of women that do take advantage of being out of state, and whatever they do is whatever they do. But then I think that for some women, this is our soft life experience where we do pour into ourselves. We do have our crying moments. We do read books. We do get spas and go horseback riding and do things that you think we're out there turning up, and we just on a couch watching the same Netflix, but it's just peaceful. And I don't think that men really understand, especially when you are a person that does everything for everyone. That one trip throughout the year at bare minimum is that time to just not do anything and just pour into yourself. And so I'm all for it. You want to come on the trip? Go ahead. You get your hotel room, you know, come along. But my itinerary is my itinerary too. This is my me time.
Period.
Yeah, we know what type of horseback riding going on down there.
Yeah, and it's bareback.
I mean, listen, that's the insecurity talking. And I think this is where men have to be careful. We cannot wrap up the insecurity, the trust issues, and then call it safety. And then also have that correlation to what you have seen with other people. Because truth be told, like, we have seen men cheat as soon as the woman walk out the door. We can't hold that against you.
Yes,
We have seen, but you're saying not to because you don't even want to be questioned. So at that point, it's a give and take, and it's a trust. And I think that's where marriage and relationship comes into comes to a place where it's difficult for people who do have trust issues, who do just want to control, not really be successful.
Hey,
Did you
go
pick
ahead,
that,
DJ.
Will? Will, did you pick that?
Exactly what I'm about to say. Go ahead.
You twisted that when we were talking about obey to say that we can't be questioned if we cheat. Nobody here agrees with that. Obey a directive in order to protect you is not the same as don't question me if I'm doing dirt on you. So we're not gonna let that slide.
What if you're not doing dirt?
Hey, she tried hard.
We're not,
It came from her past experience.
Right.
It came from her past
And her
experience.
past experience.
Okay,
and
so
now
let's
she's questioning you.
address that.
And I didn't even say past experience. I said if you've seen.
What you
what?
Hey man, y'all
you
don't
got
heard that
going on
man
with your
talking. Y'all
past
just gonna interrupt that man, and y'all just said fuck his opinion, huh?
Yeah, I've been doing good all day. I'm sorry.
No, you doing bad now, Dad.
They just doing what you do,
doing
man.
bad now.
What you got going on from your past?
Why you always trying to say the women, man?
He
Come
can't
on,
got
Following
no
your
grades.
leadership, Hank.
They not because
He
they
ain't got no grades.
I've been
Lead
quiet
by
most of
example,
the
Hank.
time.
Let him finish.
See,
Hold on.
What you got going on from your past experience really should be taken care of before you get to this next dude. He shouldn't have to carry that baggage. That's
right.
First off, you actually doing him a disservice. But as far as the commitment that you got to your friends for 8 years, once you make a commitment to your man, his commitment supersedes your friends. So that's done. Now you get like you all alluded to, you can compromise to finish your bucket list with your husband or the guy that you committed to, whatever. But the truth of it is, we don't trust them niggas down there. We don't trust the hoe or hoes that you're going with, and we cannot protect you. And we're not using our idea that you may be with somebody as a means to protect you. And the way we know that is because Di already said, I feel safe when I'm with him on vacation. So she already done it for y'all. She said what we already saying.
But they said they feel safe with their girls.
Right.
With the girls. That's why I'm going on a girls trip. You
feel safe
trying
with
to
your
make it seem
girls?
like it's two different
But
things.
see-
The first thing y'all brought up was what your wife could be doing, what she would be exposed to, based on, and Willie said it, based on what he's seen girls do and what that had nothing to do with me as a wife. Me as a wife, I have always held myself to a certain standard. So why do you think that standard would change when I leave to go out of town?
So
And before I just want to add this part to it to clarify that I did not say the woman's past experience. I piggybacked and said we all have seen guys, speaking from a female's perspective, just like Willie said that he's seen certain type of females do things. Women have seen men do certain type of things. We cannot hold that against you. So now all of a sudden you want to use
this is
that to not go on trips.
So this is another thing, like what you have going on or witness personally. Yeah, you can use that, but at the same time, you can't say, I want to go down there and it's okay for me to go down there because I'm not going to do anything. Again, it's not about just you. I don't trust them niggas down there. I don't trust one or two of the hoes that's already going with you. Those two things will put you in a particular position I can't protect you from. And you might just be stuck out there with some dude all up in your face because he the odd man out and you the odd one out because you don't want to do hoe shit. And I can't be down there to do nothing about it.
But
Hey,
DJ, what you're about to experience is you're not going to be able to convince women to understand anything that you're saying when it goes against what they believe and want to do.
I appreciate you, brother.
But
no, when it goes against who we are as people. So
that's
when
logic, though.
women are down there doing. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry.
I don't want y'all to think that it's all about protecting you, right? There are just some situations and some things that if you are in a situation as my woman, that's unbecoming of you, right? Even if I can trust you to the moon and back. I don't want you around a bunch of hoes in the club because they're your friends and all that. Like you make it like as a man, there's still some sort of pride that I have. There's still a bit of ego that I have. I don't want you out here in certain situations because you my woman and you're not an average woman. You my woman. And if you with a man that's not an average man, then you don't understand that I just don't want you in that situation because that's not what we do. We don't be in that type of area. If that makes sense. It's not always purely about protecting you.
And I get that, right?
Why are you taking this stance? Because
here comes the butt.
You're okay. You're okay with them doing it. You say you're okay. You're not totally against girls trip. So why are you taking this stance?
No, I'm not totally against girls trips. No.
So you should be taking this stance then.
I don't like I'm against the club. I don't like my woman in the club, and there's certain other things that I don't like. But girls trips,
they talking about girls trips, so that's different.
I think when y'all think girls trips, y'all think like non-girls, rough rowdy, going to Jamaica. Like that doesn't encompass all girls trips. Like for one, like my girl be so happy when she finds a married woman that she likes and she enjoys, or a woman that's in a long-term relationship, and she come and she tell me about her because she know that means that it's a high chance that I'll let her be friends with this woman, right? That I'll be like, oh yeah, like we can be couple friends and all that. Yeah, Bo. Because listen, I'm like a hawk. Like I can identify a woman that ain't shit. I can identify her, right?
So I'm just gonna say something that you guys said earlier. You gotta lead by example. So the same way that you want to dictate her friends list, I hope that there are no holes in your friendships at all. Like excommunicated out, fraternity brothers, like shrine brothers, all out.
Men can't be hoes. It's a different.
That would indicate.
No, they can.
They can't. Men make hoes.
They can.
We can't.
No.
We make hoes, and this is what happens with women. Women try to act like it's a double standard. It's not. It's a different standard.
Nope, it's a character standard.
We are whore makers because a woman becomes a hoe by fucking a lot of us. A man is, unfortunately, in our society, we gain value by being able to fuck a lot of women because we have to do something to do that. You as a woman, all you have to do is be born with a slit between your legs and it be wet, and then you comply. You've been able to do that since you were 16. So there's nothing special about you fucking a lot of men. It's actually a bad thing. A guy has to earn that value and right to be able to fuck a lot of women. So therefore, we can't be whores. Y'all can. A lock that can be unlocked by a bunch of fucking keys is fucking.
Grace, I got you. Grace, I
think
you'll appreciate this. I think you'll appreciate this. Right? I heard what you said, right? And the difference with me, right? When it comes to my friend group, I'm not gonna say that I'm the leader of my friend group, but when it comes to certain things, a lot of my friends follow suit, right? So I don't cheat on my woman, and I preach that all the time. Like I don't would be with none of the nut stuff. Like I don't do that, right? So just because all of my friends weren't always like this, they start to become like that. Like to the point that like my friends, if they are cheating or doing something like that, they don't tell me no more because they would feel embarrassed if they were to tell me something like that, right? So it's a little bit different for me, and my woman knows that about me. She knows that, like, yo, whatever I'm on, like the people around me and people who meet me will be like, oh, like he on that type of time. Like I get DMs from guys all the time, like, yo, bro, I'm trying to be, like that. So it's a little bit different for me because I'm literally a leader. Like I'm a leader of my woman. Like I'm a legitimate leader. You don't have to worry about me following nobody. You don't have to worry about nothing like that. My woman's my woman. She's not a leader. That's not her role. That's not what she wants to be tasked with in life. She doesn't want to be tasked with the burdens of having friends kind of leaning on her for certain things and stuff like that. If that makes sense to you.
All right, cool. It's my turn.
Yeah,
Right?
it does make sense. I just, one thing I'm gonna add is that men and women both have a immature side to them. I think that it was Willie that mentioned earlier where women are stuck in their head, like the fantasy. And that was just how we were raised. We played Barbie dolls, we played house, we played school, we played dolls, we played everything imaginary, right? And so, of course, a woman can now grow up and insert that man into the lifestyle that she thinks he can play. And it's not really the reality of him, it's what she wants to see in him, the potential, right? But men on the other side have a lot of points. Y'all play a lot of sports and you like gaining points. And when it comes to women, that's where I think you rationalize it with points. Oh, I can sleep around with them. But it still comes to a point where a mature man knows about discipline. A mature man knows that he's not for the streets. And a mature man knows how to handle himself. So this is where I'm saying that it's not about just sleeping around, but it's about the discipline. If you expect her to have a certain type of friends, then you should have a certain type of friends. And that's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, look, I don't believe in girls trips, but I don't do boys trips or guys trip, men trips. I don't do that shit. So it is what it is. I stand on it. I don't waver. I'm not going to sit there and say I'm not against it. Then say I'm against it. Like Mont say he doesn't mind. He's not totally against girl trip. I am. So I presented that before I got married. Not doing this. I had to vet my wife's friend, and one of them had to go. She's a hoe. Yeah, you can't be dealing with her no goddamn more. You got to cut that heifer loose. She's no longer in the group no more. Cool. You want to go on a girl trip? I'm going. We going together in the name of goddamn love. I was going on, my cousin them called me for a guys trip. I said, hey, man, my wife coming. We going to get a hotel. And whenever we decide to do something, I'll be there. They going to get an Airbnb. I'll be over. I chill at to the end. But then I'm going back to the hotel with me and my wife. And whatever day we not getting together, me and her going to enjoy the city of the town, wherever we in. We don't do that shit. I'm not wavering. Ain't no, ain't no grace. That no means no. We're not doing that shit. But you have to stand on it. I mean, you waver, they gonna sit out. They gonna come up with the reasons like they ladies are doing now. But my ass, no girls trips. It's what it is. But go ahead, Di. I see you gonna do the show and tell.
Now you do realize you just showing us a picture of a bunch of women that travel. It doesn't support either argument.
No, go follow her. You gotta go look. You gotta go follow her. Them married people.
Go
follow them.
Y'all all know.
Is it a husband and wife?
That's
Is it a husband and wife? Are they couples? Are the husbands there?
No.
Some of the trips the husbands aren't there, but some of them they are.
Exactly.
It's bullshit. Bullshit.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
Why
that's
gotta
the
be shady,
issue
man?
with
Why
our
gotta
older
be shady,
generation.
man?
I'm
Why gotta
telling
be
y'all.
shady?
Send that to JR so he can put that on the screen.
I sent it on TikTok.
That needs to be highlighted.
Yes, highlighted JR.
I said I'm shady. God.
That definitely needs to be highlighted because
I tried to get Biz. I wanted Biz to do her wedding pictures. Sorority sisters, all that. Yes.
How would you feel if your man pretty much was telling you like which friends like you like yo I don't want you friends with her? You cool with that?
It's happened to me before, and I did some friends I did have to cut off, but then he tried to tell me family couldn't be family, and I'm like, okay, now you're getting insecure. This girl, this is my
No.
sister,
You
literally.
I don't give
don't
a
trust
shit,
leadership.
family. Look,
But
Your
my
sister can be
friend,
a hoe
anybody
too.
who's not blood, because y'all have to remember he wasn't my husband yet. So calm down, Hank.
Oh, okay,
I
that makes
still
sense.
gave him some type of say so. So calm down. But this was still family that he was trying to have me disown. Now, if we're married, that's different. But like for instance, he told me at the time
Wait.
I had a baby shower, my friends couldn't come. They was mad. I lost friends. They still, some of them still don't talk to me to this day. You feel me? I
it might be
have
a good
respect,
thing.
but there's, you know, men, you can't expect that type of control without putting a ring on my finger. I did give him some say so. But when it comes to family, you got to prove to me that I'm your family before you have me cut off my family. No, we're not doing it.
So okay,
wait,
let me
that's
ask you
not
this,
control,
Di.
that's
What
influence.
type of family members did he tell you to cut off? Were they them whole type out there doing street shit?
Yeah, but I don't. Yes, but I didn't hang out.
God damn,
Listen,
trying to
Hank,
save your
Hank, can you
life.
wait, Hank? Listen, I never hung out with her. This is family. We hung out at my house. We didn't hang out in the same environments. I didn't go to the clubs with her, so that's what was pissing me off. How you gonna tell me she can't come to my house because of what she do outside my house? That ain't got nothing to do with me. No, it doesn't.
She brings that but Di,
that's
if
my
she brings
sister.
that negative environment to your home, that
She
could be a
can.
problem.
She can. That's called boundaries, Hank. I don't know what type of. This is why I say I don't know what type of women y'all date. But when
I
it
ain't
comes
messing
to
with no
my
real thugs,
house,
'cause
my
real thugs don't
environment,
believe in
there's
boundaries.
boundaries. You're
Right.
not bringing.
Real street
Why is
dudes
you
don't
bringing
believe in
bullshit to my
boundaries.
house? I don't deal with bullshit. What type of women that y'all used to deal with in the past that women don't have boundaries on? The people
it's
they hang
interesting.
with?
Trying to make it like it's about the
interesting.
women we deal with and not like
Yeah.
when we interact with on these panels in real life or in these clubs or places we're talking about. Like,
But
if
I've
your
never
sister was
had
doing
my
some
friend
street
bring
shit-
her shit to my doorstep. I've
if
never
your
had this.
sister was doing some street shit and she's at your house, that street shit can follow you to your house.
Goddamn
What is she doing? Okay.
Hold on,
Oh,
Di.
whatever
You know what's
y'all just taking it too far. I'm just confused about what y'all.
Di, you know what's interesting, Di? I think that because you keep mentioning like, oh, the women y'all date, but this is just my opinion. You might disagree with it. I think that you really need a leader. Like you need somebody in your life to like show you things and to tell you like, yo, this person's not good for you. This person can bring stuff back to your house. Like, and I know you probably think like, oh, this is family and all that type of stuff. But a leader is going to tell you like, just because somebody is family, that don't mean nothing to me. You know how many women are inside families where those families have allowed people to touch them and never did anything about it. Like you gotta, it's so many families who allow the women inside of their families to have things happen to them and they don't do nothing about it.
And do
But a
you
lot
know
of times
there's
you meet a
many
man.
women that have? That's why I said, what women are y'all talking about? Every time
it's
y'all
a ton
talk
of
and
them.
give advice to us, and sometimes y'all talk to us and give us advice as if we're those women. As if it's like, do you know what it takes to be that type of woman? Do you know what you had to go through? Do you know what type of things you had to avoid? The lack of accountability you had to have in your life?
Yeah.
Like that's why it's just
y'all make it about
mind-boggling
yourself
to me
and make
that
it
y'all
personal.
saying that she can bring bullshit to my house. First off, any person, not just friend, anybody I'm doing business with, anybody that has the ability and has that in them to bring bullshit back to my house, it will not come back. He didn't have good discernment because of his friend's experience with my sister. That had nothing to do with me. I'm not outside with her. People didn't even know I knew the girl until she came to my house. People don't know where I live. Are you crazy? Like I'm big on that type of stuff. My brother used to tell girls, do you think people know where my brother lay his head at? Like we don't play that stuff over here. I don't know what y'all talking
But
about.
Di, you said your family does some street shit,
You're
right?
proving our point.
No,
Ain't
not
that what
my
you said?
family, my brother. That's one person. That's what I said.
No, Di, you said your okay.
What I say?
Di, you know, I knew somebody who thought I didn't know where they lived at. I bought a tracker on Amazon. I paid for the little phone plan that came with it, and it had a magnetic case that I could that I could have bought with it. I put it on the bottom of their car while they was at work, and I knew where they lived at. Right? Somebody can do that to that girl that lives with you, and it'll show that she's there all night, 5 days in a row, and she
What
don't know
girl
where she
that
live
live
at.
with me?
Well, whoever come to your house, they can track.
You said your cousins or whatever. You said that some girl that is in the crime, but you know your man didn't want him to be
Y'all
with
just
you
took
around
it a
you.
whole different way. Y'all took what I said like y'all always do, and then y'all put y'all own stipulations and give it its own pass or the reason why it is that way.
We heard what you
Y'all
said.
assume
We
But
heard
Don,
what you said.
Don,
Okay,
you
go
said
ahead.
you wouldn't be caught outside with her, right?
At that time, yes.
She about
And
to
And
why
it's
is
not
that?
we just had 2 different friend groups. We just had
That's it?
at that time that's and I'm just going off now. I understand why, but back then because we were only 21, we just had 2 different friend groups. She went to Proviso East, I went to Proviso West. It was just we didn't hang out with each other.
You wouldn't be caught outside with her on purpose or just because y'all
Just
had 2
because
different friends?
we didn't have the same interests. The environments that she liked to go to, I didn't like to go to.
Which would
But you said
be
she's welcome to your
dangerous or
home,
not?
I don't feel like I guess sometimes
Oh
they
my
could be
goodness.
dangerous.
Jesus Christ.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So, okay.
What do that
Somebody
have to do
said
with
in
her
the
coming to
comments.
my house? If he told me I don't want you going here with her, that makes sense. You don't want me going these places with her. That makes sense. You cannot tell me this
You shouldn't
girl
be
who's been
around her,
coming to my
period.
house
That's what he's
since
pretty
we
much
were 3
saying.
years old that she cannot come to my house. She
Yeah,
already
yes.
understands the
She's
rules
not
of
3 years old
visitation.
anymore.
We're 21, 22 years old. We've been doing this for 20 something years. There's no way you're going to come to my now. If it's his house and he paid the bills and he's my husband, bitch, you can't come over. Fuck is you talking about?
Just let her be foolish. God
What
damn
are
it.
you talking about?
Everybody ain't gonna make it. Everybody is not gonna make it.
You
let
know.
them be.
Willie, you caught that though, right?
Hey, bro, listen. One thing you're gonna learn about me, G, is when like I can prove that the other side is just committed to not agreeing with me, I stop talking. Like, so that's between her and him.
Everybody's
now,
not
bro.
gonna make it.
I'm
Everybody's
not
not
in that
gonna
at
make it.
all. Like,
So I have
So
a
you gotta let
question.
'em be.
Before you marry
Let
a
'em
woman,
learn.
you're willing to. So before you marry a woman, you're willing to create a contract to where you're willing to take care of her for the rest of her life, and you're willing to submit to her and give her all of that trust and understanding before you marry her, right?
I mean,
what are you talking about?
I'm just saying because I don't think y'all understand how much our freedom, our submissiveness is nothing that you just give away. That's not something you just hand away because you feel like you a man and you earn that control. You
So
get what I'm
here's the
saying?
question.
So like I said, like I said, the guy in the situation, he wasn't my husband. He wasn't my husband. We weren't even engaged yet. We were in the we were together for a while, but we were not engaged and we were not married. But I still understood. Hey, this is his baby shower. He say my friends, he don't fuck with them. That they can't come. They feel like, but baby showers are for girls. No, baby showers is for me and my men. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give him that respect. But when he told me that he's gonna police the people that I call family, you have not yet became my husband. You have not even done near the duties to be telling me who I can keep it with. And that's the problem with some of these men. They want that type of control with a woman, but don't want to provide that type of provision.
So I'll ask you this. You ever play sports or anything like that? Okay. So when somebody wins the championship, do they become champions once they receive the ring, or do they become champions prior to?
When they become the champions once they win that game, that final championship game.
Okay. In order for you to get that ring, do you or do you not have to practice like a champion? Okay.
Fuck.
And how do you
Grace,
know you're on the
got what I just
championship?
said, didn't you?
But
You got what I
DJ,
just said, didn't you, Grace?
but you're not
Yes, you
making sense
did.
because
I
how do
told
you
you,
know
here
you're
come
on
the
the
windmill.
championship team?
told you.
First, you got to identify you're on the championship team first.
Jesus Christ.
So,
Jesus Christ.
so I'm gonna say this, and I knew that they were gonna go there like 110% because women require, and we speak in general, right? Women require men to show that they are husband material before the wedding. Women have to show that they're wife material before the wedding as well. And I think that when we hear men start saying certain things, it's a ouch to us because that means that certain things that we're used to doing as single, we can no longer do. And it's not everything, right? There's a compromise in it, and that's up to the individual people in the relationship. But as a whole, it's like when they hear a woman say, well, I'll start this when I get married. It's like, well, then I'll start caring and providing and paying and doing X, Y, and Z when we get married as well. And we're never going to win if we keep on waiting for a man to become our husband in order to be submissive, in order to listen, in order to be, I think the word I use all the time is coachable. And so I know what they're saying, and I know it's hard, but what he's saying is that, and I think what the guys are saying, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. I'm paraphrasing at this point. When we have females who are in different lifestyles than us, regardless of age, regardless of their born-in title or the title that we give them, it still poses a risk and liability to our well-being and our house and our peace. And I think that men emphasize this a lot more because that, oh, she's going to be all right, she's cool, she won't ever do that, will be the very person that leads someone who will, because of the individuals that they have around them. And men, I think particularly Black men, have dealt with a lot of loss based upon somebody's associate that knew where they were at the time and rolled up on them. And so I think they take that a little bit more serious than what we can even think about, because it's a safety issue.
And one more thing that's extremely important, not letting that particular person go. Let's say, we do meet them out and about, right? Now you and I are in a potential position. If she has a situation while you and I are out with her, just by chance, I have to now maybe protect you and her, but I'm even more at risk. You may lose me to jail or the grave because we didn't do that one thing, which was to cut off the potential issue or the potential hindrance to the protection.
Yeah, one thing I don't like about these conversations is I think that women think leadership is benefiting men when you should have, him telling you to do that was him giving you free game. Like all of the stuff that men do. Well, I'm not all men, but like if a man is being a leader, you should be thankful that he's giving you something. He's not taking something from you. He's giving you something for free. So like him giving you that advice was good advice to like let go of somebody who's not a good person. Even if you have a relationship with them and you've had it for a long time, cool, right? You had it for a long time and it's a comfort thing there. You probably would feel like a piece of shit letting them go. I get it. But objectively, it probably was a better decision to let go of certain people. But leadership is not a man telling you what to do. Like, you are being selfless when you're being a leader. You're overseeing something. You're looking like, yo, I see a problem here, and I see how to make this better. So like, yeah, he was doing you a favor by being a leader.
It also sounds like, she said that women's submission isn't just to be given, but it seems like it's transactional with the man's protection and provision. A man wanting to protect his woman from her trifling sister or her whole friends is a control thing instead of him having influence and taking responsibility for his woman. So it seems like that would be counter to her initial point, saying that, well, do you have to win the championship?
You just said for your provision, your woman has to
so you can get the whole complete response. It's more so what she's saying now is that, well, he's not my husband, so I'm not doing this. And we've had this conversation before. Women swear there's a certain thing that they should do when they get married and not before. But then they want men to protect, and they want men to do husband shit before while they're boyfriends. But they don't want to give that to us. If my woman had a sister that was a hoe or was doing some street shit and then was still bringing her around or staying around her, she would never be my wife. Because again, that's not a woman you can lead or protect. Because again, even as your boyfriend, I done met your daddy, all that shit. When something happened to you, I'm responsible for that. He gonna look at me crazy. So again, DJ, that example you gave was fucking perfect. Like, that's exactly what I was going to say. But it's funny, like, and then did you notice that, like, when Gracefully explained it to him, it made sense coming from her. But when you said it, it didn't make sense, and there was like that 5-6 seconds of buffering before, like she responded to you.
Yeah,
That's what that is why it's really like you have to. I'm learning now that sometimes if you want something, a woman to understand something, go tell it to another woman and have that woman tell it to her. Because that shit works. Like I see it on this
relatability.
I see it on this panel all the time. I see like I'm even seeing it. Like, you know, they say if you think about a car, you'll start seeing it more, right? Like, so like you're saying it's the same thing. I'm seeing it happen so often that like I'll say something that makes perfect fucking sense to everybody but one person. As soon as like say Bo comes and says the same thing, or Gracie says the same thing, then the woman understands it.
Yeah, that's what Bo say on the flip side.
Right.
Y'all caught that, huh?
I'm telling you, man, because these men only understand you if you got a dick. I don't understand it.
Whoa, pause.
We agreed. We agreed most of the night, though. We agreed on most of that.
No. Yeah. So most of the men that I talk to on this panel, usually we understand each other, right? Like just with a little bit of explanation, with a tad bit of wait a minute, I got hung up on their word. If we could do that, we good. But a lot of men, if you don't have a dick, they don't understand a word that come out your mouth, because I have had experiences where like Mont says the exact thing that I just said, and the men like, yeah, wait a minute. Wait. Because I just said that. I promise you, it had Sweeney. It take a dick. I don't know. Men like dicks.
Oh, come on, man.
Okay.
It's the relatability.
I'm done.
Like representation and relatability is so real.
The ladies on here, if y'all, Di, you still here?
Yeah, she said that she just wanted to go outside for a bit. But
What's up?
She was
If
here.
you had a man, right? Y'all been together for a couple years, and you lost your job. You didn't have any money. Would you expect him?
No.
To, damn, hold on. Would you expect him to at a certain point to take control of whatever you got going on? So you literally about to be evicted, right? It's either he pay for it or you come live with him. You think that it's becoming of a man that's not your husband, but y'all been together and he loves you, right? To allow you to just go homeless and be homeless.
I don't even want to go live with him. I thank God for my support system.
That's the problem.
That's your answer right there.
I don't want to shack up. I don't want to do that. I don't want to depend on a man for survival reasons. I've seen that too many times where women depend on men for survival reasons. If it's my husband, yes, I don't mind doing that with my husband. I'm not doing that with no boyfriend. I don't know what world do y'all think that's okay?
It's, as a man,
especially for a boyfriend who didn't even set those expectations. You just said out your mouth, there was no, he's just my boyfriend of 2 years. He never said that he wanted to marry me. He never said that he wanted to be engaged to me. It don't matter what I think or where we're going. It don't matter what I think. You didn't give me enough detail to where you said that this man was looking to be my husband. Why am I expecting somebody who's not looking to be my husband to take care of me?
I don't know why you would be with a man that you don't see a future with. But DJ, I got a question for you, right? If you
see what I mean? But then when we do the same thing to y'all act like y'all don't get it. That'd be the irritating part.
DJ, if you was with a woman for 2 years, right? You with a woman 2 years.
You dropped the mic.
She loses her job. She loses her job.
Yeah.
She can't pay. She at the last point where it's like, yo, I'm about to get evicted. Are you either going to figure out how to pay for something, or let her come stay with you at that point?
She can come stay with me.
You not about to have a homeless girlfriend that you texting every day like, yo, like I'm gonna come hang out with you, then I'm gonna leave you want, and I'm gonna come, come fuck with you again tomorrow. Like,
we've been together 2 years. That's a no-brainer. I mean, I must see some, you know what I'm saying? She can come stay with me, and then if after 2 years, it's probably gonna be to the point to where it's like, all right, if this work out that you over here, you might as well just, be here, and we go from there. Now, if she still want to get her own place, it is what it is. But I'm a be with her in the valley and with her in the peak, you know. So
Picking your girl up at the shelter every day is crazy.
If I make it to 2 years, like so I made it 2 years with my woman. If we live in the same city, I 1,000,000,000% guarantee you that she's living with me. Because if we make it to 2 years, I'm going to marry you. Like that's it's a 99.999% probability. Like I gotta catch you sucking some dick or see a transfer for like some head or something, like somebody wired you some bread, and hit you with indecent proposals for you to fuck that relationship up at that point.
Yeah.
But combining households, like I want to live with my woman. I want to spend as much time with my woman so I can see what the fuck I'm getting myself into. So I can see, oh damn, she is super clean. Oh, she really does cook breakfast, you know what I'm saying, 3-4 times a week. She just don't say she does, or she really can cook. I like to get that demonstration or being a demonstrative environment where she can show me everything about her that makes me want to marry her. Like the things that we value, because again, her education, we don't care about that. But what she does in the house, like how she can make the house a home, or like how like when I come home, how she greets me, or the peace that she provides me in or not provides me, adds to in my house, that shit's important. It's like it's to not live with your woman before you marry them is like to not fuck your man before you marry him. Because again, you wait till you get married to find out that y'all have terrible sex. Your odds of not lasting have been reduced drastically. So I'm 100% want to live with my woman. Like I want to spend as much time with my woman as I can. We're gonna be on FaceTime all the time, as long as you're not doing, because that's your personal time, and y'all be real sensitive about that part. But like we're gonna be on FaceTime, and if we long distance, we're on FaceTime. I'm doing all that stuff because we're spending time together. So then that way when we move in, I don't find out that you snore. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't find that out after we're married, like after we stuck. Like, I already said I do change the last name and then find out that like, you know what? I might not like the way you fart in your sleep. That might be a problem for me. Like you want to live with a person so you can see like all the bad things, like all the the inner workings. Like I want to know what medication you take. Not that I think you taking like some prep shit, but like I want to know what supplements you take. I like to see my woman's hair care routine. Like watching my woman in the bathroom get dressed is like fascinating to me. Not just because she fine the motherfucker, but just because like the care and like how meticulous she is about her appearance, like and not wearing a lot of makeup. That shit is mind blowing to me. So I enjoy those things. I would never want to find out like me and Grace been dating long distance for 10 years or 2-3 years or whatever. Moved to the same city, and I find out that I see her for the first time without makeup, or like if she pulled that hair helmet off and I see like her scalp for the first time, that's probably going to alter our relationship a little bit if the shit go wrong. Or she would want to see me like that I'm messy. She look at my closet, like my car is clean, but my closet look like some bullshit. Or I leave a sink full of dishes every night, or I let the trash add up before I take it out. That's some thing that she probably going to want to know before we get married.
God dang, this is crazy. So the man can't tell her about not fighting certain family members. Yeah, that don't make sense to me.
I would just like to say, Willie is a bad influence.
I get that a lot. So I have no argument. I'm a terrible influence for most people.
You are. You are a terrible influence. That's
atrocious. The worst. I'm cool with it. Like I'm so okay being a bad influence because I know that when someone says that and they mean it, it's just because I'm influencing them to do something better than what they're doing right now. And to them, that makes them uncomfortable. And because most growth is uncomfortable. So I get that. But then when it comes to my points of view, I mean, I'm sorry, it is what it is. Like I'm never, if nothing else, you know what I'm saying, a few of you niggas know me in real life. This is what it is offline too. So it's not like, you know what I'm saying, this is a internet persona. Like I was just talking to JR about that like last week. It's just like some internet persona and shit. Like it's just literally this is how I am. And then we have these conversations. It's easy to dismantle someone's talking points when they're not consistent or when they're rooted in some bullshit. Like when I was talking earlier about a woman that you can't lead, shouldn't be married. Like a woman if a woman claims herself to be Christian, but then still questions God. If you don't listen to that nigga, you never gonna listen to me. Like if Jesus daddy still got you asking him questions, but why God, why can't I go do this? But why is it bad to be a hoe, God? If you question that nigga, you can never listen to me. And I wouldn't even expect you to at that point. Because now the Most High You know, it's God, husband, wife, children. If you question a nigga above me, you're not even gonna pay me no attention.
So, Diane, let me ask you this: Why was you so against him not welcoming your cousin?
You didn't have a legit reason.
Haha, you found an example. You wanted to know his reason to make a decision.
Yeah, but he was my husband. So it still don't go against anything I said I believed in.
Well, okay. Well, what was the reason he gave you then? But you said this is not legit. But what was his reason though?
His friend fucked her, so he felt like she was a hoe because his friend fucked her.
Damn, that is real though.
Wait, how did his friend fuck her?
I don't know. I don't know. Me and her literally. Me and her.
Mom wants to know if he
did
it to a doggy style.
Was it in the
You know
bathroom
what place we hung out
stall?
the most? You want to know which places we hung out the most? We both went to private school all the way up into 8th grade, and we hung out in church. Those were our hanging places. Those are the places that I met her. Those are the places I spent most of my time with her.
I'm saying, like, if it was in a bathroom stall, that's different than like, oh,
I don't know. I don't know. That's none of my business.
But I thought you said she was a street girl.
I don't know.
I thought you said she was a street girl. Is that a different cousin? That's a street girl?
No, I'm talking. Y'all gonna label her how y'all want to label her, but she likes to go outside. She likes to party. Whatever y'all label, whatever type of girl that is, yes. I grew up west suburbs of Chicago. Okay, west side. Okay, that's the easiest way to explain it. Yes, it's hard to be, in this type of community. Yes, all your friends is not going to be 100% good girls. They're not. But trust and believe. You ask anybody about me, they have nothing but good things to say. Anything. I'm careful about my character. I'm careful about my brand. I have strong moral standards and values. I was raised inside a private school. I just have other friends. Now, like I said, he did tell me, hey, these friends can't come. The friends that I only knew for like 2, 3, 6 years, guess what? They didn't come. They didn't come.
So if you're concerned about your character, and then why would you even deal with questionable people then?
She's not questionable.
Oh, okay.
She was questionable to him.
I know.
But
you have to understand. I'm not gonna go into details, but yeah, she was questionable to him.
Because this is the thing, right? I think as a man, I understand this, because if my homeboy cracked your sister and he told me she's a hoe, I'm listening to him because we are the subject matter expert on fucking hoes. So now, it's unfortunate that the hoe in this situation is your sister, but as your man, that doesn't change anything for me. It doesn't mean that I think you're a hoe, but now that I know your sister is a hoe, there's certain things that I don't want a hoe involved in. For one, my relationship. If you talk to your sister about your relationship at any given time, that's a dub, because again, she's a hoe. Getting advice from a hoe is like getting dating advice from a fucking lesbian. It's the worst thing you can do. Look what happened to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and her fucking credibility. I'm never going to want my woman seeking counsel from a whore, being influenced by a whore, or
nobody knew about our relationship problems. Nobody.
No. That's cool.
I'm just saying that was just between me and him.
I'm just sharing with you what men think and why we don't want our women hanging out with whores. And then lastly, I don't want my woman being seen with hoes, because again, if me and my partner is out and he tell me he cracked your sister and I see you with your sister, I'm gonna assume you're a hoe too, because you with her. Because again, that birds of a feather flock together shit is real.
So he should have understood how he contributed to the friends I had too. So that's why I said I was young. I understand. Listen, the whole situation, I had a reason to not trust his opinion, but back then when I used to date, I didn't have the insight that I have now. If that makes any sense. He wasn't somebody I probably, would have probably made it to marriage. Like I say, I didn't have the insight then. So I do get what y'all coming from. But like I said, because I didn't have the insight, I was already taught from previous things I've seen that be careful when you give your submission to somebody. Because if I was to submit to him, I'm not going to lie, my life would probably look a little different. I'd probably be a little ratchet and a lot of shit. I'm not going to lie, I probably would have been. And my life, I would have been a stereotype. Like, just your basic stereotype. But back then, because he provided a certain safety for me, I'm thinking this could go somewhere. I find a man I could, you feel me, just because of the environment I've been in. But that's why I said you got to be careful before making those long-term decisions, like moving in with somebody, because to y'all probably didn't grow up with the same obstacles that I had to grow up with, if that makes any sense. So now that I'm getting older, I am starting to trust myself more, trust who I surround myself with, because now I'm getting the results that I want out of life. But when you're not getting the results that you want out of life and somebody come around making you feel good, you might have to question that, because you probably attracted somebody that's just trauma bonding with you. You know what I'm saying? And when I say the results I want out of life, with my mom, with my dad, with my career, with my daughter, all of those things. When I
I
wasn't
have a
getting those
question.
results, I was attracting the wrong men. But now that I'm getting better results, that's how I know I'm healing. You know what I'm saying? And just the decisions I'm making, the way I'm going about the decisions, the way I had to end toxic friendships. Because I get what y'all saying. There are some friends that I had to cut off because it's like, gee, now your shit getting on me. You feel me? And you're not listening. You're not looking to change. You're not looking to make a difference. You're not going to therapy. You're not taking accountability. I can't hang with you. Just like how you said real dope, I'm that friend in my community. I'm the friend that if you want to be in my circle, I hold you to higher standards. You supposed to love your man. Your man paying all the bills and you not doing what he asked you to do and you questioning him. Your lack of faith is disturbing the household. I get what y'all saying, but at the same time, my path was just a little bit different than y'all's, and my mistakes don't define who I am, you know? So
I definitely agree that your mistake can be your mistake as long as it's a lesson, and it sounds like you have learned. Um, I would just question, and in not questioning you, but I guess in a sense of questioning why you wouldn't just agree about the stance. Maybe he was wrong in that analogy, but why? I guess why did it take so long to get to this place where you're like, I see it, but the past was the past, and I had to grow from it.
I bet told them I agree. I heard what they were saying, but for me, when they kept saying, well, he probably did it because of this or this or that, it's like if he said it was for those reasons make sense. You know what I'm saying? But because he wasn't even really doing well at articulating himself, him just saying she a hoe wasn't giving me any type of clarity the way they explained it. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't mature enough to say, hey, I'm trying to protect you. Hey, I don't want her reputation, whatever the stuff that we girls don't think about, you know, the things that makes men, he wasn't able to articulate that. It wasn't that type of insight. It wasn't at a marriage level yet for him to be even trying to dictate that type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it just wasn't. You could just tell how the relationship was. But like I said, I do want that from a man. So I'm always going to give you some room. I'm just not going to say, no, fuck your feelings. No, they can't come to the baby shower. You don't want them around my daughter. You don't want them holding her. And it's not just my daughter, it's our daughter. Hey, I know we've been cool for this long, but listen, he don't trust you. And he's the father. So I have to respect that. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to my sister, my mom and my grandmother had to talk with him. And then after that, that was cool. That was the only exception out of all the groups of friends. And I had a large group of friends. Out of the large group of friends I had, that was the only exception I had. That was a boundary I said. But like I said, if I was married, he's my family now. So now we're not doing it. We're not doing it because this is my husband. I have to work out everything I need to do with him. And if he feels like you're a threat to our house and our marriage, because you have earned that respect for me, you have earned that trust for me, why am I taking you through it once we're married? It makes no sense. It doesn't make
Can I?
sense. Whatever makes my husband uncomfortable, I'm trusting his decision. That man had not yet put me to that point to where I'm trusting you with my entire life. I'm not
Can
doing that.
I just speak to you as a woman to woman, right? I hear that you put a lot of emphasis on husband, right? And that's a title. I would say look at the character of the man, because if you're waiting for him to do that when he's a husband and he's not valuing you before then, that's a problem, right? how you want your husband to show up is how that man should be treating you before that title,
Agree.
and vice versa. Like you should be, if you are trusting that man with your body already and your time and your space, then you should already be willing to submit to him and his leadership. And if you're not, then that means that you're not aligned. And the hardest thing that we have to do is recognize that and then walk away. And it's not saying that he's a bad person. He's just not the right person for you and where you want to go in your life and what you want to see. We are visionaries as well, but we are visionaries. And when that man appears, we have to see whether or not we can submit to his program or to what his leadership is going to take us further to be. And if you don't have that vision for your life already, your value, your worth, your what you are going to have as far as your negotiables and your non-negotiables, then you're going to conform to anything that makes you feel good.
And that's all I was saying. I was aware that I was in that state. So that's why it's hard for men to be like, just because that man care about you, he's telling you to. No, I have to make sure I'm what you just said. Once I'm there, then like I said, when I get that direction, and it might not feel good, but like you said, because it's not about feeling good. It's just like I said, knowing character, all that other good stuff you just said. But at 21, I didn't know that stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Right.
So we were talking about what
And
happened
he
when I
didn't.
was 21. We was talking about what happened when I was 21. So I'm gonna be honest from a 21-year-old mind frame.
I think we were just going off of what you said because you pretty much were just saying that like, yo, he wasn't my husband. So that's kind of like what we were
Character-wise too. That's the reason why I
Yeah,
wanted, you feel
definitely.
me? Yeah,
Definitely.
like
I think if you with a man and you trust him to be a leader, husband or not, like you gotta, soak up that free game because a man is going to put you like just how I just told you. If like me and some of the other men on this panel, if something happened to our woman, whether she our wife or not, we're going to step up and we're going to make sure that she's okay, whether she's our wife or not. Right now, most of the men on this panel are not going to pay our girlfriend's bills if she lives in a separate household because they're not married yet, right? Same way she probably not going to come over every day and cook. But if shit hits the fan, that man is going to step up and he's going to take responsibility for her because of where he sees a future with her or whatever. Right. So that's all. Like we're going to risk our comfort to make sure that you're okay. Because a man is, if you got the right man, he's going to always be looking out for your best interest. Even if he tell you like, oh, your mom is bad for you. It's a lot of people who mom is bad for them. Right. But you might not be able to see that because you're her daughter. So, yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and close out, man. Our pain, MPS, $5 says any man of means who gets married without protecting his assets is being foolish. Now that women are breadwinners, they have no issue with prenups. Our pain again, $5 says every woman, no matter what her economic status, want the same thing from a man. The 4 Ps in various ways and levels, in other words, a tradition, man. Gina, $78.96, $2. Willie, 100. Thomas Ford, 67.40, 199. Never hear men say, I want to go on a guy's trip. And Thomas Ford again, 199. These women are a fun time, not a long time. Want to thank everybody that has contributed to the platform thus far. Grace, appreciate you, man. I'm glad you stuck through. Bo, thank you for your contribution as well. Dad, good to see you. Gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. We're going live tomorrow. We got an excellent show here for you guys. Going to be discussing black fatigue.
I'm a subject matter expert on that one.
Black
fatigue, it's nigga fatigue.
We're going to be talking about it, man. It should be an interesting dialogue. So we'll see what it do. Y'all make sure y'all tap in tomorrow. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evening. Get y'all some sleep. And